Ah, episode 52, cycle 925 and on. Oh, definitely need to stabilize the volcano tamers and also stabilize them. Ugh. I feel like that's going to be the primary goal for today. It's like, must make sure everything's working and I don't need to worry about food. Thankfully, we have a ton of Paku. The bad news is I need to send more plastic so I can actually move them. And I also need to build an actual Paku farm again.
Hello.
That's assuming.
What you doing?
Starting up on episode 52. Or action not included.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm not sure what to do yet.
Probably go stream yourself, you know.
Yeah, it's in a couple of hours here. I don't know what to play.
uh, go through the Steam Next Fest.
I got the evil tank game installed, by the way.
Ah, good. Good. Yep. I was actually just about to jump down into my own Discord. But I would personally say go through the Steam Next Fest and just look through the demos and see if any of them that you like. I mean, they're all free.
Are any of these games out yet? Just demos.
They're all demos, I think.
Eh.
I mean, for the most part. I mean, again, I'd recommend Cult of the Lamb, but that's just me. So that thing's really good.
Oh, this is already on my wish list.
Well, yes, I told you to add it to your wish list.
No, not that. A different game. I saw something, it was interesting, I click on it, and I'm like, oh, this looks... Oh, it's already on there. Never mind. Back.
Oh.
My wish list is too long.
I think most people's wish lists are too long, bud.
It's all games that haven't come out yet.
Yes, because COVID's still a thing.
Only sometimes.
Okay, let me do my priority check. Nope, they're way too high. 9 for storage. That. Okay. That for 6. These for an 8 to clean that all up. At least when we come back. Stabilize. Let me check Rudabo real quick. I think everything's pretty good here. I need to set that for 7. I want to move materials from there to there, and I put a storage container there. It'd be best to do that. Talon. Let's see. Oh, I did forget to set that one to 6. Check. Okay, everything looks pretty good there. Flapelin. Those to 7. Those go to 5. You guys are all on your way back. Good. Make sure everything's loaded. Probably set this to a 6. It's all stabilized. And the norm. Okay. There we go. Oh, yes. When I finish up tonight with episode 52, do you want to jump on tanks after that?
Yeah, I'll be around for a little bit after my stream. Not much though, but do like an hour maybe.
Okay. When does your stream end?
I usually end 11 p.m. my time, give or take a little bit. So
What's
I
that
start
Eastern?
in. Hold on. It is currently. It's about to be 5. I start at 7, and I usually end around 11.
That's almost fine. Okay. So that might line up perfectly. Maybe. it's currently almost 3 a.m. here. 2:46 a.m. And I normally go until about 6 or 7. Or until the sun is blinding me in the face. Any of the above.
You don't sleep.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I need to send you a thing for later, for when you're not streaming to watch.
Oh God,
That
what is
is-
it? Why
I
is
couldn't-
everyone sending me stuff to watch stuff when I'm not streaming?
Well, it's because it's a YouTube thingy, but I found I recently made a discovery of a Korean SMV maker guy
Oh, boy.
who makes some funny ass clips, and the one from today was just it's just so perfect.
I feel like I should be concerned.
Oh, it was so good.
You're not the only one who does that. Sends me stuff to watch.
Oh, it's so funny. It's just so perfect.
Well, DM me it and I'll watch it later.
Yeah, there you go. Boop. Have fun with that one.
Thank you.
Alright, you have fun with your dead
Dupes.
people.
With the dupes. They're not
Soon
dead.
to be dead people.
Sume, I haven't had a loss of a duplicate in literally years. We almost lost someone because they glitched out and went through doors when they weren't literally locked out. But I immediately force locked the doors completely.
You know what
and
that
fixed
says
it.
to me?
What?
That says you're doing it wrong.
I am not killing my duplicates. Thank you very much.
They need to experience the vacuum of space suddenly in the
They
middle of
do
sleeping.
experience the vacuum of space suddenly on a regular basis because the dupes are stupid and leave rockets without suits. But it doesn't affect them because the fucking vacuum doesn't do squat to these guys. The only thing that does
they
hurt
need to
them
be-
is lack of food, lack of oxygen for an extended period of time, and overheating. Oh, and the radioactive bees.
They need their average commute. They need to get out of bed, walk through the vacuum of space, then take a swim through a lake of lava, then walk through a sub-zero area, and then they can go get their food.
Just so you know, the sub-zero area they do that every time they go for food. Also, this is a complete vacuum, so yes, they do actually walk through a vacuum and go into a sub-zero area. It's currently
Well,
it's negative 27.8 C in here.
They're missing their lava bath.
I'm not gonna give them a lava bath because I like my dupes.
They need a hot tub.
I can make them a hot tub without the lava bath.
It's not hot enough.
I mean, the minimum water temperature for a hot tub is 37.7 C. So yeah, and the average normal water temperature in one of these things is 75 C, because that's normally where you want to keep it running at. Which technically for the dupes is scalding temperatures, but because it's in a hot tub, it doesn't affect them, which is weird. I still don't understand how that works as a mechanic, but eh.
We do not question.
No,
dupe
we don't.
Logic.
We don't.
We simply exploit it.
No, I just simply go, okay, cool, they got an extra 6 morale. Awesome. I think we're good.
All these games are just demos. This depresses me.
Oh, but here's the good news. Cult of the Lamb is coming out in August, so it's very close.
But I need something now.
Then just play some Stardew or something.
That's my weekend thing.
Start another playthrough of Stardew for the week.
Like, I'm trying to keep it regular so that people have, like, it's this time of day on these days of the week that I can expect these videos so they can watch them regularly. And I'm trying to keep
fair.
a steady schedule
That's completely
for people.
fair. I'm just saying start a second playthrough but do it on, say, I don't know, the ocean, like the beach actual farm. And do that one as an off time thing. Or as Info says, do Nino Kuni Crossworlds. Give that a try.
No. Sunbreak's coming soon, so at least I got that.
I have extreme doubts for Sunbreak, but that's just me.
Look, it's more Monster Hunter content. It gives me something to fucking do that's new.
True, true.
At this point, it's the only thing coming out, please.
I mean, I would just tell you, sadly, if you have a capture card, just go play Ultimate 3.
As long as it's not bad. Like, that's my only... Like, I don't need games to be the best game ever. I just need them to be
you just need them
decent.
to be good. Yeah, you just need them to be good enough to...
Which
it's like, it's
I very
fun.
much expect... I expect Sunbreak to be a pretty damn good Monster Hunter game, because I enjoyed Rise. Honestly, between Rise and World, I like Rise's feel. I wish it had World's depth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would just like... I would like to do all the shit that
like,
there is to
Rise
do with World
was...
with the buttons of Rise, please.
The problem I have with Rise is that mechanically it was supposed to be before World. Like, it was the last handheld version for actual Monster Hunter before the Switch was really being pushed out. So it was just always on the back burner, just kind of existing. Then World comes out, absolutely crushes everything that we know about Monster Hunter just from a fundamental standpoint, and just made this amazing video game. And then they were like, okay, well, we still have Rise in the background. We just didn't have time to finish it, so we should just put that out. And then they had to rework the entire system because of World's success in Rise with all the mechanics that you like. And
yeah. Well,
they just kind of couldn't do much
I
else.
like are the switch skills and the way, especially Insect Glaive, just how it feels compared to World. It feels so much better. It's easier to control. It's easier to keep track of where everything I'm doing is while I'm flinging myself all over the goddamn battle area because Insect Glaive refuses to be chill ever.
Well, yes, you're a blender. A flying blender with a bug.
We will be at extreme velocities at all times.
But yes,
it's
just
great.
As a whole, the
World
issue
just
with
felt so
Rise, though,
clunky.
well, yeah, because again, Rise was an intermediate one that was supposed to come out before World, and seeing they had to completely redo the entire game while still maintaining what they already had, and then just going, okay, well, fine, we can just release it as is, and then hope players like it. And the initial response was, it was okay. And then it just kind of fiddled out there because they didn't really develop it. Like, they didn't push for, Apajiva or something along those lines to really push for in-game content.
Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the one that comes after Rise at this point because now
be
you've
World
got...
2.
Okay, we made World. World had some fundamental gameplay issues. We made Rise. Rise fixed all the combat issues. But that's all it had.
Yeah.
Let's put these together.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All the buttons from Rise. All the World's shit to do.
Yep. Righto. Put that on, bud. And deliver you.
What's this?
There you
Oh,
go.
meh. Mixed reviews. Moving on. This is how I judge games nowadays. Woo! Pretty pictures. Mixed reviews. Never mind. There's so much. There's so many. Look, there are too many good artists out there nowadays making game covers that you can't go based on how it looks ever.
Oh,
for
I know.
Quality.
Oh, I know. I know. That's why demos exist.
Yeah, I'm glad demos are coming back as a thing.
I am super happy about that. Thank goodness. Yes. I should leave you to it. You can go look through your demos of what's currently from the Steam Next Fest. And
Yeah, I gotta
we'll
go
be
find
jumping on
something
down
to
here.
play.
Yep.
You have fun somehow playing Dupe Game wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
They're not being tortured. This is wrong.
Why in the God's green earth would I torture my dupes?
That's what they're for? It's like they're like Sims.
No, they are not like Sims. Ugh. God damn it. I need to just put you in Oxygen Not Included and just have you run around.
I must be the most chaotic one available. I need all of the negative, painful, awful traits that make it hard to keep them around.
So, a anemic, flatulent, nycomphobia, radiation eater, I guess.
The one that sets things on fire at random, I need that.
No, there isn't. There's a banshee now. There's a dude that when they hit their stress reaction, they start screaming like a lunatic. So, that's a thing.
I need this.
They just added that one. But if I find a good duplicate that has Banshee, I will definitely pick it for you.
As many awful traits as possible.
I will get the ones that are not too bad.
I must torture all the other dupes with my presence.
Yes. I doubt that you'll ever actually hit the problem of actually hitting the stress needed, but it could happen. My bases are pretty stress neutral. Actually, normally stress negative. Sadly, I can't really use duress to impress. That's when if you keep your dupe's stress levels at 60%, then they gain an extra 10 points to everything.
Neat.
Only issue, once they get the 10 points, then they start becoming more effective, thus their stress falls. Like, dang you, catch 22 ability.
See, I just go with negative 100% stress. This is where we need to be. We need to be at maximum stress levels at all times. Just like real life.
No. Yes. I will leave you to it.
Okay, bye.
Poke me when you're done streaming.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
There we go. And yes, that was Sumeshiro. Hopefully he can find a game that he's going to enjoy today. I have no idea. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. So, our Sage Hatch. Oops, retrieve the Sage Hatch. I also probably should... What? Door. I got plenty of copper ore. That. Now look. Sputnik 4 should be returning home soon. Going with that. One of these early characters you meet is voiced by the same actress as Glee. Oh god. You really, really, really want me to play Ni no Kuni, don't you? Is she as much of a terrorist and explosive expert in Ni no Kuni as she is in Genshin? That chaotic fire pyro energy? Oh, well, that's a shame. That's an actual shame. Still getting some weird interactions when I'm not looking at the planet. But doesn't look like it's too terrible. Oh, killer, you missed it. You missed it by that much. I don't think the VOD will be up for a while on Twitch's end anyway, but maybe you could probably go back and read it. I did ask if you were around. I assume that you had just left. I never know. That's a shame. There is currently a bug in Genshin with bow characters, and I was showing that one off for Infaust and the others. Pretty much for everyone up here. A cute, harmless animal creature. Oh, that's fair. Okay. Good, everyone made it back. Watching my TV and knocked out. Oh, damn. Oops. Why? Damn it, Sand. Well, it's time for me to refuel the rocket and bring everything back. So let me grab the picked meal. And I definitely need to vent everything. BuddyBuds, not that. As I said, I will try it out tonight. Obviously, I do need to help Sumi with learning World of Tanks, or War Thunder. I don't know which one he installed. All I know is that he was going to do one or the other. Know your opinion on the game after trying it out. See, exactly. As I said, I will give it a try. I'll go get it downloaded, and I'll give it a try. Again, I can't form an opinion until I try it, so I have to play it to figure out if I'm going to like it or not. Or if there's any mechanics that I like in it. Or the gameplay loop. Or anything along like lines whatsoever. So, once I do, I will give you a fully informed decision. So, let me pack in the gold amalgam. Fix some glitches and bugs. That's perfectly fine. I play Oxygen Not Included. Bugs is normal. Bugs is like a normal occurrence in all things at this point. Nope. Actually had a narcoleptic nap. So rare. We've seen maybe 6 total. Because my Darklips don't actually have a bed, so they go until 0 stamina almost always, unless they've gotten like extreme R&R time. Let's. Do need to switch this up. Keep staring at it, and I'm just like, it must be. There we go. I have a friend who dislikes Genshin a lot, yet they found Candy Crush both pleasing and enjoyable. Oh. Maybe I'll be able to figure out why. Also upgrade this. So much hydrogen that ended up blowing out my liquid lock over here. That. I will be preparing for the next rocket launch. Means I need to refill this. Filled at the moment? You are not. That. I don't think we need the trailblazers. Literally a one trip there. Are there the little troughs and water before the suit thing on the planet? You mean over here? This keeps the... whenever the dupes are running around here, they'll just release CO2 automatically just by existing. But the thing is everything else gets vented into space. So this is just an airlock. The Silver Asteroid Colony are going to continue doing. I am still going to do that. I have been slowly working on it. I actually have a new mechatronics engineer that came in a couple episodes back. Where is he? Yep, where are you? There you are. I got Vinard over here, and he actually spawned a really good trait set. So he came with a full set for critter wrenching and mechatronics engineer. With, no negatives. He's got Ugly Crier, Small Bladder, that was his negative, and Sticker Bomber. And then skill-wise, 11 in Husbandry. Yeah, he was stock 7. He's been working, and 9 Machinery, mostly from the skills. So I am slowly working on this one. The biggest problem is that I need a hell of a lot more steel. Like, to be able to build this, I'm probably going to need 6,800 steel, I think it was. Which is just waiting on line production, and then extracting iron and slowly reprocessing it. As you can see, we've got 35 tons, which I should probably do like 80 of that. Actually, let me do it like this. 40. Amalgam because I brought some back. We'll need to scoot that over. That lead, yes. Yes, I've got a lot of work to do on that planet, mostly because of the sheer amount of work it's going to take to build the like steam generator. Because again, we're building sideways. We're not going to be like, I can't just dig straight in and just start burrowing my way in using water. I have to actually punch a hole in here and then clean it out. And that's going to be like the hard part. But yes, for the little tufts of water, this is just for a liquid lock, which is technically a block. Think if you played Subnautica, the moon pool. That's what these are. Don't really have one here because we don't have extra space. This one, I'm actually using crude oil, so you can just do it like that. And then this is also its own liquid lock, which it's actually a gas lock. Which, this is always kind of interesting that you can do this. So, because of the pressure from the oxygen, if you have, say, 2 gases in here, it won't actually push. Because this permanently takes these spots, even at only 6 grams. This is around 344 grams pretty much everywhere. And then this keeps that going. And you add in a liquid lock, put some CO2, and you're good. Seeing this is actually chlorine, the temperature from in here doesn't really transfer here, and the temperature here doesn't. So, this is actually a really good example of how you can technically use the liquid lock with a gas lock, and it just keeps it all nice and contained. And same over here. Crude oil there, crude oil there. You can see the dark purple. There's also some CO2 there, but that was just due to compression. But that keeps your gases on this side from leaking out into space. Or, say, going into your actual base. All that's working just fine. Exhausted. Come on, bud. Move it. Let's see. 8 kilogram. Okay. The rocket's refueling at the moment. I need to actually vent this place. I can also finally get rid of this. Pretty sure I took care of all the Pluto and oxygen. There's one blob left. Oh, I can't really call it little. It's 8 kilograms. Did not grab the rest of that. One moment. High priority the fridge. Should keep things rolling. Mark those. I don't think we'll ever have Swan Shard here, but might as well just make sure that it's ready to go just in case. Hot down here, at least at the moment. I think what I'm going to do Actually, switch this all the way down there. Eventually, I'll just separate all these, and that way I'll have gases just going straight up and down. But right now, it's just like, yeah, might as well just build the infrastructure and get it all done. I'll connect to there. Pipe like that. And gas pipe. Beat that one. Once it's done, connect that to that, and we'll be good to go. How is the temperature in here? Doing pretty good, actually. Here is freezing as all hell, as usual. Gotta be careful with that. I keep having breakages because of the temperatures. Just too dang cold. There we go. Okay. I'll sort that out until later when I need to rejig the entire system. Eventually I'll be putting the hydrogen inside the steam room, and the steam room will actually extend out to here and down here. Hyper that. Much extra materials. Okay, I think we have enough glass. That's what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11 solar panels. I think we're good on the glass side of things. That out. Probably fire some more glass over here. Yes. Definitely fire some over here. That way we can build our little triplet of solar panels. Then I don't have to worry about it. I think we have enough power from just solar panels alone over on Japola. Ugh, I do need to find the ice planet as soon as possible. That'll be our iron supply completed. That now. There we go. Got everything there. You want to watch the cannon shoot? No, I need to get more power before I can do that. But give me a moment. Animal lover, Ludite, Sparkle Streaker with farming. Arner's pretty good. It's just that he has 0 ranching, but he doesn't have animal lover. Dang it. I think I'm just gonna take the briar seeds because you can't actually make more of these. You can only get them from the printer. Drecklets, we already have massive Drecko farms, so I think we're good on that. Yeah, I'm gonna take the briar seeds. Turner's not bad, but only having farming, kind of annoying. Bye, bud. Come back when you've got ranching and animal lover, and I'll take you in an instant. They're doing okay. Come on, dupes. This built. And I can inject a little bit more power into my entire grid. We should be good after that. We have another one. More cuddle pips. Also, how in God's green earth did you two get out of there? Oh, no, you just... I'm guessing they hatched down there? Huh. I'm confused. How goes draining of the water? It goes. Just dumping it all in here. So they'll get cleaned up and I can get another pip farm down there and I don't have to worry about it. A way to remake natural dirt tiles? Yes. So, come on over here. Where's the materials? Here we go. So, you can take algae in small little pockets, about, what, 1 kilogram worth? Yeah, you can take about 1 kilogram worth of algae in storage containers. And what you do is that... Let me see if I can find a storage container that's empty. Not really. Pretty sure I have one like over here. Yeah. So what you do... Put this to 1 kilogram. There is the algae. No, not clay. Pretty sure it's organic. Yes. You would set this up to where it's 1 kilogram. Algae gets put in by your duplicants. You then deconstruct the storage bin, and you pick up the materials used to make the storage bin. Once you've gotten, say, 3 tiles, like say if you're trying to remake naturals, like tiling for pips, you would normally do it in either sets of 3, or you do it alternating. And then what you do is you take a radiant liquid pipe, send it all the way through, put, say, 200 degree oil through it, or crude oil, whatever the heck you've got on hand, anything that can actually handle the temperature without turning into a gas, and you just put that directly behind it. What'll happen is that the crude oil will end up heating up the algae, and around, I think it's what, 128? Yeah. State change is 3 degrees off of the plus minus. So at around 128C, at 1 kilogram, it will turn into a natural tile of dirt. And obviously, if you accidentally heat it up to 326.9, and then add 3, so 329.9, then that will turn into sand. So you have a little threshold of heat that you can work with, and that allows you to make natural tiles of exactly 1 kilogram. Which obviously saves on resources and also saves on, like, a lot of space. So you can technically rebuild an entire base out of natural tiles, utilizing algae. Obviously, 1 kilogram of dirt gives you a 1 kilogram tile. So instead of needing 100, like here, 100 kilograms worth of plastic, or 200 kilograms worth of igneous rock, if you just have the algae laying around, then you can easily make a bunch of tiles and actually rebuild an entire base with much less material. But obviously, you need to be able to, you know, heat that stuff up and then cool it back down. So that way it'll be livable. Or obviously, if you're doing, like, say, sleet wheat farming, actually, just head on over to it, to Flipallen. If you want to do sleet wheat farming, then you normally would just run super hot materials through it, make your natural dirt tiles in sets of 3, and then you would make sets of 3, say, with ladders. That way you can slap in, where is it? Slap in an auto sweeper in here later, and then you just run it that way. But yeah, my last playthrough I built a humongous, and I do mean like overtly sized sleet wheat farm, just because I could. And I was like, you know what, screw it, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. And it was super easy. Thankfully I didn't need to cook anything because I just already left in all the actual natural tiles, and then I just froze the whole thing using ethanol. I think it was pretty much like... Where is it? I think we had it at, what, 50 by 30? Yeah, it's about that big. So yeah, I ended up making a sleet wheat farm using that technically that method, but I kept all the natural tiles to the best of my ability, so that way I wouldn't need to cook everything off beforehand. But once you do that, then all you need is just a basic cooling loop, and then you're good to go. Yes. Why is butane getting hotter? Question. Coal at 37. The water we're using? Ah, yep. That's the water we're using. I should probably insulate that. I'll just insulate the exposed components. There we go. And then construction-wise, high priorities, and that should take care of itself. We are using somewhat hot liquids, but then we've also been chilling down certain portions, so as you can see, the temperature is slowly falling down, like goes down as we get closer to the source. This just took a while for us to automate the entire process. This is now 24.6. This is pretty good. Also, some really nice green areas now. Still don't know what I'm going to do with the minor volcano. I'm probably just going to set this up as a geothermal power supply. Probably just 2 steam turbines up here, move the bathrooms down here once we clean up the whole thing. And scoot the entrance to the base, which is here. Scoot it on up and back up in here, for the most part. Or even down here if I wanted to. Yeah, probably actually just here. Because I can easily compress this area. I don't really have to worry about it too much. The other method, obviously, is using doors. If you want to make natural tiles as well. Instead of dirt, you can make metal tiles. Well, I should say raw or metal tiles. It's technically a bug, but it's a bug that the devs have been perfectly fine with keeping in the game because it kind of makes sense. And it also makes it so it's not an absolute pain in the ass to actually do natural tiles normally. So many, so many cuddle pips. Sadly, cuddle pips do result in less actual dirt, whereas their food, I think, is exactly the same when they die, so that's perfectly fine by me. But the good news is they do take care of their own, and they also help my other pip eggs grow a little bit faster. It's only a 10% boost, but I'm good with it. Well, I should say it's an additive 10% boost. It doesn't stack with the duplicates taking care of them as well. Oh, food decayed? Ah, that's fine. Should probably sweep all that up. You know what? That's 60. I should leave it alone. 70 of that. Grab the tiny one. Way more useful. Let's not grab him in there. 45, 11. Grab that one. I do need to collect all the rest of the iron here. I might actually send a rover back over here and just let him do it all, because that way I don't have to actually like deploy a duplicate down here anymore. At least for the time being. So I feel like I feel like I need to put like a rover over here in Drapola, but I can't, there's no way he would actually function. Because everything's just way too hard and way too dense. So the rover would do nothing here. Whereas over here in Rudabo, most of it is not terrible. Like most of it's igneous rock now, so I can probably get away with sending one down. Just letting him do it. Like over here, obviously that wouldn't work, but right here is perfectly fine for a rover. Hmm. Too bad my nuclear rocket doesn't really have the space for one. I could technically remove the drill cone for the time being and then slap on a rover module and then send that over. We're not making enough rad bolts right now. Keep running out of power. Oh, that's now running. That's what? Our 1,600 versus the... Yeah. Hydrogen in my burn and not enough. Okay, well, I think it's time that I... Just add more hydrogen. Slap more stuff down. There we go. I'm producing more than enough hydrogen across every freaking range. I wish this didn't blow out. The good news is we're slowly extracting it, but yeah, it 100% exploded. Good news is, wrong button. Clean up some of the excess nuclear waste that's laying about. Our water tank is finally starting to look like it might actually fill, so that's good. I'll just be happy once I get this done, because then we can actually get the nuclear reactor online. We're currently building all the infrastructure needed for it. No, not you. I need that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. And yes, I will need to eventually seal this whole thing in from here over. Probably something like this. Yeah. Definitely that. Obviously, still stupidly hot. But at least it would be better than what we've currently got. It might. We don't really know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what it's going to do versus the neutronium. So there is a high likelihood that it could fire a beam straight up. I'm gonna hope it doesn't. That would be bad. That would be exceedingly bad. That would be literally worst case scenario. Because then I need to plasticize everything up here. Can also finally get rid of that. That. That one in, so that way we can dig that up later. Don't need this. Or really that. Now my real problem is 420, 448, 423. What was your melting point again? 660. Okay. So these will eventually be vacuum boxes. So this will be a box, this will be a box. Actually, sorry. This will be the box for this one. This one will be the box for that one. I want to make sure that I've got 3 lines of space for each steam turbine if I need it. And then 3 lines of space for the actual steam. Which does make this thing pretty big. Also, this will not survive in here because it's made out of steel, and sadly, it's 400 degrees in here. I can't actually do anything about that until much later. I can at least get everything else pretty much ready to go. Now, the only real question I have, though, for myself is, do I want to take the outputs, and then do I want to take them down, or do I want to go up? The auto sweeper just goes wherever it go, like wherever you put it. You're thinking of the sweepy. Is this the sweepy duck? Only downside is that they technically nerf sweepies again. Weirdly enough, yeah, sweepies are the Roomba that moves around left and right. They have 48 tiles left and right of themselves that they can go. The problem is that if they detect a creature, so any critter, I think it's within 3 tiles, so left and right of them. So that. So if they're sitting in the middle, 3 tiles left and right, then they get scared and they stop functioning. So I don't know why they added that when sweepies were already kind of, well, useless to begin with. Like, to build a sweepy duck in base game that was actually useful, you would have to build a crusher first, and then build a drip-fed crude oil dispenser. Because you would be putting the sweepies in space. But yeah, just as a whole, it was really dumb. Like, until they rework sweepies, I don't see them being useful. Which is a real shame. Like, the only real purpose they had originally was to deal with lava, which was nice. But then they added an overheat temperature to the machine, and they added a, like, if your dupes ended up making a sweepy out of thermium, the sweepy would be fine. Like, it can just run around all at once in lava, no problem. It would actually be sweeping it up. But once it came back to the sweepy dock would melt, and then he would explode. So it was like, oh, well, that's terrible. So, yeah. And then also it doesn't work in space, because if you try to liquid lock these things, you can't designate what the sweepy can and can't pick up. Like, there's literally no inputs or outputs. You have an on and off. That's it. So you can't actually designate what should be done about the sweepy dock. So they became literally useless. As I said, the only real benefit that you had was that you could technically take a metal tile, only made of aluminum. I'm not going to do it right here. I'll just do this for demonstrated purposes. Is you could do it like this. And you set it up like that, because for some reason you'll actually get teleporting materials. But that is a thing. Drywall. And what you did, say you're in like basic, the base game, and you're dealing with regolith regularly. This is literally the only way to keep sweepy docks actually cool, and use them to pick up extra regolith as well as ores that are coming in from space. So, technically speaking, the way that this works is that you will end up having a droplet here from the actual crude oil or petroleum that you use. And what will happen is that the sweepies will end up picking this up because they refuse to actually ignore liquids because, again, you can't set them. And what would happen is that if you made a liquid lock, the sweepie would just end up draining the entire liquid lock. Nothing you could do about it. So this was really the only workaround, is that you build a cooling loop down here. All the liquids that go through this are all end up either getting picked up by the sweepie or end up falling into the actual liquid, the actual system. You build your little cooling loop here. You set up some pumps, and then you use 2 sweepie docks. One sweepie goes this way 48 tiles. One sweepie goes that way 48 tiles, and then they come back. And you set up crushers. So once you've detected an asteroid, these guys are allowed out, and then they can actually, like, once the asteroid... Well, I should say, when the asteroid strikes end, you have doors that open and allow the sweepies out. When the asteroid strikes begin, then you just wait for the sweepies to hopefully make it back, and then shut the door, like right before it happens. And you would normally connect this into your actual signal network, and this was really the only active use for them. Mind you, they still got stuck. Mind you, your dupes still had to come up here and rescue them regularly. And mind you, they would still pick up the materials. So you would eventually need to use an auto sweeper and then figure out a way to actually refill the system and clean out the actual docks, which is why duplicates were still required for this. But this is pretty much the only real use that I ever found for sweepies that actually functioned. Because you could use them to pick up pips and stuff, like to pick up the timber, like the lumber and all that other stuff that would come with that. But with the recent change that made it so they're afraid of critters, and I mean all of them. And by the way, that completely broke sweepies. That when they did that update, it completely, like, they did not work for 4 months. Because the devs were like, wait, the sweepie's radius of fear is if one sweepie became afraid on the planet, every other sweepie on the planet became afraid. And it took them 4 months to fix it, which was really annoying. But it just kind of proves how little that they actually thought about the sweepie's use. Which is a shame, because they could be useful. If they gave them a filter, it would actually be good, but I doubt they'll ever actually do anything with sweepie docks, because they were added in and then they were forgotten. And then they nerfed them, and then they didn't realize that they not only nerfed them, but completely broke them. Nope. Yep. Another broken pipe. Proto. Prototype Gaming, why? You're asleep on the pipe and it flew out. Oh, dupes. But yes, if you want to actually keep a clean base, just use auto sweepers. If you really want to do something like what I was just describing with sweepies, the better method, especially if you're in base game, obviously bunker tiles, auto sweeper. And what you want to do is you come on over here to an automatic dispenser. There's the edge. And what'll happen is that you can daisy chain this. So what happens is this auto sweeper can pick up all the material. It goes from here to here. It then gets dispensed into this automatic dispenser, which this automatic dispenser puts everything in this tile line. And what you would do is you would make it so that way this auto sweeper cannot access this, but it can access the stuff that's put out. And then you just daisy chain it all the way across. This does the exact same thing as what a sweepie is supposed to do. Yeah. And there you go. There's a daisy chain. Does the exact same thing as a sweepie. You can easily fix this thing by adding an actual liquid behind it. So you say built a crusher device, or you built a the C-type. All you need is that. Technically that. Actually. Let me... Probably be easier if I just decided to walk off one side. Radiant pipe. And you'd have a cooling loop going through here. You'd put liquid here, most likely petroleum. This will keep all these cool, and you don't have to care about it. And you could just build a crusher that then scoots all the material off to one side, probably like over here, and then use the auto sweepers just to scoot everything. Obviously, you would need to move these, but it would still pretty much work in the same exact fashion. This would actually just result in them being a little bit closer. You could do it like this, and that. So this could now reach this. This actually would not be able to reach that, I believe. If I remember right, it should be either this tile or this tile. Might need to be placed like that. But it does the exact same thing as what I was just describing with the sweepy. It's a hell of a lot less resources as well as a lot less power. And also you don't need all the, like, absolutely absurd cooling towers to use sweepies. So, again, it's a shame that sweepies are practically useless. The only thing I can think of maybe using them for is you can put space artifacts on them and make the space artifacts mobile. That's really about it. You also can't put them inside of a Great Hall, if I remember correctly. Unless they've changed that with a recent update. As far as I remember, they're classified as industrial machinery, so they're technically a conveyor loader. So if you put one in here, it instantaneously turns it into nothing. And then it will complain about having, yeah, no industrial machinery. You can't even put a sweepy inside of your mess hall to actually pick up food. So, it's just, it is annoying. It's like, I want sweepies to be good, man. I've always wanted them to be good. They're literally little space Roombas, and you can put, like, space artifacts on them, and they can move the decor around your base. But then they can't handle one-tile gaps, and they can't do much else. They also generate a not insignificant amount of heat, can overheat, and just causes a lot of other problems. It really sucks. Like, I want them to not suck. Like, literally all I've ever wanted for sweepies is for them to just function. Peter Griffin, 657. Thank you for the follow, man. But yes. What's my power setup? Primary spine coming from space. All excess power is injected into this, and then it's all dumped into a large, non-overloading power transformer setup. So the entire grid looks like this. It's all built within this primary power spine. This is a moonlit cluster radioactive ocean. So this is the what I can classify as the hardest map to work with. Mostly because it's tiny as hell, has very few resources, and if you get a bad seed, you are not clearing carnivore. I had one hatch to work with. That's why we didn't. That's the only achievement we missed again. I've gotten carnivore twice out of 6 attempts. And this was the 7th attempt to get every achievement. But, yeah, we missed carnivore just because it's like, we did not have enough meat. I was literally micromanaging and rotating eggs. Not possible. We might actually be able to do it now with the Cuddle Pips, but before the update, there was no way. What is the room with the power transfer, and what is the power transfer? The power transformers. So these are the power transformers. These are the little guys. They hold exactly 1,000 joules, and they can only dispense 1,000 joules worth of energy. If you notice, your lines can only handle 2,000 watts at one time. So if you keep your input of power regulated by these, then it's only 2. Now, if you're without teleports, yes, I could see that one easily. This one starts with flipped as well. So I get stuck with a flipped asteroid and the radioactive ocean. Both of which, this one's the tiny map. This one's actually the big one. The good news is that this has a sulfur geyser and I need to get to it though. I keep putting this off because I need more steel. I have to build my cooling loop and my water injector here. But this is definitely one of the hardest starts that you can end up getting. Let's see. Researching 10. Priest monkey, uncultured, building impaired. Don't really need max. Meat. No. Nice having that, but yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say like teleporterless flipped, radioactive ocean, and magma chambered wasteland. Those would be the 3 that I would say is the hardest starts. I could probably just slap some slicksters in here. Nope. Actually, I have a pipe break. That just broke, but the temperatures are stabilized at 74.3. Weird. Actually, how long has this been running? 179 days, and we just finally had a breakage without making sense. It's probably when I changed planets. It happens from time to time. Yeah, well. But, kind of debating where I would want to put the slicksters if I wanted to. Making a stupid amount of CO2 to the point where I normally just vent it to space. Yes. Yeah. That's why I said the wasteland with magma chambers and flipped without teleporters would definitely be the 2 of the harder ones. Is you can technically recycle your water considerably, especially early on. But the fact that you start with so little in both a wasteland and a flipped is the hardest part. Radioactive ocean, weirdly enough, you get a lot of renewable water sources. They're just far enough away from your base that it's always a pain until you can finally reach them. Let me call in the larva so I can get the timer going. Let's see. We're at cycle 931, and we've got 172.03 in this playthrough. Total hours, let me go pull up Steam, like, what, 2,600? It was like 2,300, actually. Let me check. We're getting there. $2,435.3. I've done, what, 13 megabases? Over Oxygen Not Included's original release. A new flipped run? Good luck. Definitely gonna need it. So I'm pretty sure I can start running this now. Yes, I can. I should just start venting that into space for the time being. I'll also turn these back on. Nice. And we've got 2? 1, 2. Is there no one over here somewhere? Yes. 3. Yep. The stock 3 for a flipped asteroid. I am currently preparing for one. Right now, getting my water basin set up, and as you can see, we're already building the infrastructure. I cored out all the lava in here and been slowly working my way through to get everything set up. I also ended up getting a neutronium plug here that will be used to somewhat shield the base. The bigger problem is that this, as far as I can tell, I ran it through a test build, so I copied the save and then ran an actual test build with it. And I ended up having a radioactive beam when I turned it on that went straight through the base. How do you get rid of lava? There's multiple ways to do that. The way I did it on this playthrough was a water blade. So I built a water basin here, and then I used the water and mixed materials. So it was brine, salt water, water, and polluted water. and I let them add pressure by compressing them while pushing them in, and the water itself dug its way in. So if you end up mixing in your waters and using the actual water pressure from the steam occurring, what'll happen is it creates a water blade, and you will just instantaneously, within maybe like 3 cycles, just blow out an area about that big. It works extremely well. I was thinking it might work, and then I was like, fuck it, let's try it. And yeah, it worked out really, really well. Running, what, 2 nuclear reactors together? I've thought about it, but then I was just like, I think a single will be fine. As I said, the plug only fits 1. So I'm kind of, I am only concerned about the bug. So, as you can see, this should, in theory, shield the entire base. But, as I said in testing, for some reason, this blocks it. So I just have a beam of radiation going that way, and a beam of radiation going that way. But then for some reason, this tile right here on the other side ended up not blocking anything. And for some reason, it just was 15, I think it was 15,000 rads in a straight beam, going all the way up until I think it ran out of steam around here. But I was like, okay, cool. So I just made a giant freaking laser beam of radiation. Awesome. So I gotta be careful about that. But once it's ready, it'll be going right there. But I do need to clean out the rest of this. If I have to do it? Plastic. Everything here will be plastic. It's like the only way I can protect it. I think I needed, what, 6 layers? 68% radioactive radiation protection, so I think it's 6 layers to fully protect it. Food at the moment would be pickled meal, plant meat, mush fry, and then barbecue. And the dupes have been pretty much maintaining a equal amount of barbecue right now. I am using sage hatches, but I've got them set up to a very tiny timer. And each of them are technically being starvation ranched via 1 kilogram of dirt. I could ramp it up, but once they eat, then they stop being glum, and then they go back to reproducing for a little while. Yep, plant meat. These guys. Actually, yes. The biggest problem with them, obviously, is the amount of hydrogen, and also the Schrodinger's cat problem that the DLC has, where if you're not observing your planet for, say, I think it's about like 5 minutes. I can't really put my finger on it. But if you're not observing your planet for a while, then what will happen is that the game will cache the information in the background. What happens is that your map actually shrinks. And what will happen is that sometimes your liquids can teleport, your gases can teleport, and materials can go through walls. It's why I've actually had bees die in this box, and they hit a dupe that was up here working on the rock crusher. Because when the map was cached, this is still operatable, so the game will render this, and then it renders the bees because they're a critter, so they're always active. So the second that the dupe touched this, then they became within contact of the bee. So that's a problem, and it's really annoying, because technically it went through, what was it? It was 38? If I go from the bottom, if I remember right, it was down here. It was right there. Yep, 36. So yeah, the bee went through 36 tiles and stabbed a duplicate. So, that was a thing. It's like, crap. But yeah, these are actually pretty good. At the moment, I am just feeding them the extra polluted water that I'm also using for cooling, which comes from this. Making nuclear waste. And also enriched uranium. And also, if you have a bunch of Saturn critter traps, food. And thankfully, one of you guys in chat, I think it was Ursensed, if I remember correctly, mentioned to use the Saturn critter traps for the bees. The problem was that when I first tried doing this, whenever the bee tinies were picked up by these things, the betas would actually break the plants. So either they fixed it or not, I don't really know. I did have a clip of it, but again, it got deleted a long time ago, of when the actual betas would attack Saturn critter traps. So I always thought that this wouldn't work. But Ursats told me that, no, apparently they fixed it a while back. So that was all working. From flipped to the radioactive ocean and made a base that was made enough berry sludge for 30 dupes. Nice. I am thinking, once I actually get everything going, we're probably just going to end up making the entire flipped asteroid into a Sweetle farm. Because this produces enough sulfur that I think I can run 6 of these off of it. And then if I wanted to, I could run the rest as natural planted. And then I just need the extra sulfur for the Sweetle's actual survivability. But that'll be enough food that I don't really have to care about anything. Because, well, sulfur's dumb. Obviously, sulfur is one of the hardest materials to actually work with and keep things within temperature controls, but it's definitely one of the more busted food supplies in this game. I would say berry sludge, naturally planted sleet wheat, sulfur, and also the new critter type, which was... where is it? This guy. The Sani Pinch Rose. Because if I remember correctly, these guys make a stupid amount of food. What is it? It's 4,500 kilocalories of seafood. And then you can end up upgrading that into 6,900 kilocalories. Utilizing the other one. And it was just dumb. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Yes. But yeah, those are like the primary sources of like my food supply at this point. Right now these guys are just running on pickled meal and roast grub fruit, as well as some excess barbecue. Like they've been eating the barbecue and then they leave the rest. I should mention that this fridge is actually manually powered right now because again, we don't have access to solar. So I've just been running a basic tiny tiny fridge. But in all honesty, this is all that you actually need to run a fridge system. So this is about, yeah, negative 27, negative 28. All ethanol. Running off of 1 thermal aqua tuner, single steam turbine, 2 power transformers, a wheel, and 1 battery. That's all you need. Yes. Yeah, with the amount of water they use for bristle blossoms, yes, it's literally stupid. I love it, but it's really dumb. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the numbers definitely add up into stupid territory. It's like, holy crap, really? I was like, that is absurd. That is an absurd amount of food. Hopefully once all this water's out of here as well, I will actually get this set up so that way the pips will have yet another ranch. But yeah, the new critter morphs definitely look pretty good. The only issue that I did see was obviously the shovels did get nerfed to an extent. Because now they have a base rate to make the delectables, and sadly the delectables are kind of useless. Yeah. They really don't do that much for you. So, I do like the actual, like, cuddle pips. I'm just kind of letting them exist right now. If they end up making an egg, then they make an egg. Not really a big deal. I've got one in an actual incubator, but that's the only one. So all these are just naturally occurring ones in the room. But seeing that they will take care of their own eggs, and I don't really have to worry about it, and any extra eggs that pop up in here, it's just like, congratulations, they're running at a nice solid 30% rate. Yes, the hot stuff effect is actually kind of neat. Yeah, I definitely need to get some more actual, like, I probably need to actually set up the poke shell set, like, mutator. I've just been kind of sitting on it because it's like, cool, we have a use for poke shells now besides making sand and lime. Okay, cool. I still need lime though. So it's like, god damn it. I would love to run on the other ones, but I really should just I should actually start trying to farm these guys. I can set up an automatic farm system. Like right here is just feed them, they make sand, boom, done. I don't really need to think about it. As you can see, I just throw the excess polluted dirt in there. I should probably automate the entire process. Because right now I'm just dumping it into here. I should really just bring it on up here and just dump it in. That is definitely on the cards for that. No. Field. Do I have any speed modes? What do you mean by that? I mean mods in general? I normally, for streaming purposes, I do not stream with mods. Only because I do offer my save files to pretty much anyone. Yeah, I only run on normal speed. Again, for streaming purposes, we're on normal speed all the time unless we're like waiting on a rocket or something and everything else is, like, nothing else is happening. Then I'll bump it on up to 3, as you can see. But I always run it on normal speed. And then for mod purposes, we don't run any mods because I've had issues in the past when we were running mods that then would make it so that way the save file would become corrupted as we got future updates. Again, I've been playing Actually Not Included since its original release. Actually from the original like test period because I signed up for it. But it's one of those things where it's like, I actually like keeping my old maps and trying to keep them up to date to the best of my abilities. A lot of my old maps have been pretty much corrupted and unable to be played because of, you know, the DLC updates and all the other stuff. But some of which were because of mods. I used to run the Natural Tile mod and I used to run the Blueprints mod. Both of which really should be in the base game. Like, damn it, Cly! Like, that's the only thing that bothers me is both of those options should be in the base game. Probably the player mod should be in the base game too. Like, I totally understand if anyone's going to run mods, or say someone boots up my map and they've got mods loaded. Perfectly fine. No complaints there. The other reason I don't run them is I just don't want the map to randomly get corrupted, and it would suck. Because it's like, I want everyone that wishes to see the map when it's done, and we fully beat, like, the entire game. Like, we get all the achievements that I can get done in a playthrough, we send a dupe through the Dimensional Tear, and we get everything done. Then I want to make sure that the map, like the actual map save, is available to everyone. So, not running mods, it does hurt. Trust me, I want to run the Blueprint mod and the Natural Tile mod, like, but I just don't, because I want everyone to be able to play this at some point. And yes, I know it does make my dupes do look like they're zooming. That's because the dupes themselves, like my Sparkle Streaker here, it's Sandwraith. Yeah, it's Sandwraith. So his athletics right now, because of Sparkle Streaking, is a 32. Yep. I give them 1 shower. Mostly because we were just dealing with a lot of nuclear contaminants for a while. Also, the 3 morale is a nice bonus. Well, to be honest, normally I have idle dupes anyway, so it's not really a big deal anymore. But yes, most of my duplicants are running at like 22 athletics, so you'll see them zooming all over the dang map. Mostly because I keep going for Sparkle Streakers, because Sparkle Streakers are dumb. Yep. Also, if you say you're doing the radioactive planet, be prepared to be running a lot of plastic and naphtha, because 50% run speed's pretty nice. Personally, I'll probably replace everything with gold eventually. Obviously, except for like the upper areas, because I'd rather just not have the radiation coming in here as much. But, yeah, at least down here in the main base, we'll definitely be running with gold plating. I did get a lucky dupe. Where are you? There you are. This is definitely one of the better printing pod incidents. Nitrophobic, but they're a glow stick. Meaning that they themselves can take care of their own negative. which is hilarious. And they also get a positive 33% radiation protection. Yeah. If you could ever get a glow stick that has that as a negative, you're doing pretty good. I feel like I need to rescue that pip. Priority this. I thought about that, but then the radiation eater itself was just not really that great. The only thing I could say about trying to do a playthrough, or like if you're gonna do everything with radioactive plants and all that other stuff, like you're gonna build a colony specifically built off of all of the supplies that are produced from a nuclear power plant, bees, and all the radioactive stuff. They're gonna be living on plant meat, most likely. Like the entire playthrough is probably just gonna be purely plant meat, which not bad. The only other thing I can think of is obviously using the mutated plants. But I would also probably say your best option would most likely just be glow sticks. Like every dupe would either need to be glow stick dupe or radioactive dupe. Or well, sorry, a radiation eater dupe. The problem is radiation eater isn't very good. I feel like it definitely needs to be buffed. Or at least give it like 15% radiation resistance. Like glow stick is just so good. Wish they could eat other dupes. You know, I wouldn't mind that. I'm actually kind of surprised that we don't have a cannibalistic dupe. The only issue is obviously the amount of kilocalories would be pretty, like, weak. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised that we don't have a cannibalistic dupe. I played too much RimWorld, goddammit. But it's still one of those things where it's like, I am confused why that's not a thing. Actually, it'd probably be a corpse cannibal if they really were going to do one. Wow. That's definitely one of those weird ones where it's like, technically speaking, that could be an actual, like, positive / negative. I don't really know. Definitely feels up in the air for the most part. Also, let's see here. And then turn Wendigo, exactly. Maybe. That's all nice and filled. I need to separate that pipe there. I need to actually drain the rocket. We're dealing with extreme pressures due to the CO2 overpressurization. Yes, I did see that one. I did see the one mod. I don't think that's been updated though to the most recent patch. I mean, again, most of the mods were not updated yet. But I did see the one where they can die of old age, but then you can also reverse that by giving them all the way the hell down here. One of the neural vacillator recharges will end up making it so way they turn back to normal. Yeah, the only issue with that mod as a whole, as Lily noted, trying to get skills up on dupes within the time limit of what the age limits were based on the default settings for that mod, it wasn't very good. So it was more along the lines of you're just kind of just always taking dupes and then they just kind of die anyway. So it really didn't... Like, the gameplay loop just isn't there for that. I think the hardest mod, though, I've ever done was the Absolute Zero playthrough. That was probably the worst experience I think I've ever had in Oxygen Not Included. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was the worst. If you want a really hard challenge, go look up the Absolute Zero mod. I don't know if it's updated, but that was flat out the worst mod. Like, just for difficulty spikes. Is you use the Absolute Zero mod, and you use the Lights Out mod. So what that means is that the entire map is set at absolute zero. So all plants die, all animals die. Anything that is gas turns to liquid and then freezes. Anything that's a liquid is instantly frozen upon booting up the actual map. And then you have to technically, like, cheese your way to warm up the entire planet. I did not get oil until cycle 800. I could not get liquid oil. The actual, like, leaky oil fissure that I had was putting out solid chunks of negative 279 degrees C oil. And it was the worst. Like everything in the game was set to do only like absolute zero until you warmed it up. It's also how I learned quite a few mechanics with Oxygen Not Included as well. Such as when materials fuse. Say you've got materials on the ground, because in absolute zero everything is a solid. Even your oxygen turns solid instantaneously. But the thing is that when you have something that's really cold, but it's only like maybe 8 kilograms. So you take 8 kilograms of solid hydrogen, and it comes into contact with some limited like gas hydrogen. It will instantaneously flash freeze that extra hydrogen straight into its own mass, and the temperature will not change. Because it's so cold, the game can't calculate that it actually needs to gradiate into a liquid into a gas. It just flashes from gas straight into solid, and then it gains more mass at the original temperature. So it actually gets colder because the game will just delete heat. And it sucked. Like, that was the worst. I'm really sad that I don't have the VODs anymore. I did try saving them, but that was back when Twitch was going, Twitch had that issue where they just deleted everyone's VODs. I had the entire playthrough up here on Twitch, but then they just wiped the whole thing. But I was originally asked by Falcon in the EFF Discord to do that playthrough. And that was literally the hardest playthrough I've ever done. And I know a lot of people that tuned in here on Twitch while I was doing it. And as far as I know, I was the only person who actually cleared it. Because that was before the DLC. Like, you would just get to the end via the star map, and then you were done. As far as I know, I was the only person who would... Would I ever do it again? No. It took 3,000 cycles when it should have taken around 1,400 to clear the whole, and at least in base. Obviously, the DLC is a lot harder. Not really harder, it just takes more time. But the Absolute Zero mod, I did not get standard temperatures until around cycle 1,400. And that was using liquid tepidizers to warm up everything. I had liquid tepidizers on absolutely everything in the map. Like, my dupes are living here. Tepidizers was underneath them in a thing of water. I had bathrooms, tepidizer. Any source of water, tepidizer. 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 Steam room. Didn't even have one. Everything was frozen. Tepidizers on everything. The only good news is that you learn really quickly that even if your dupes get hypothermia, it doesn't really matter. Because they're going to be negative 10 athletics the entire time anyway. Because if you have the Lights Out mod, which is part of the, Absolute Zero mod setup, if they're not in a lit area, then they get a negative 5. If they're like in a dimly lit area, it becomes negative 4, and then negative 3 if they're actually in a somewhat lit area, if they're actually in suits or directly in a light source, then they go back to normal. But yeah, that was everyone pretty much is like anemic the entire time. Also, I ended up using a lot of light bulbs to warm up areas as well. Like at the early stages, it was just tile replacement, light bulbs. Just spew as much energy into the entire surrounding environment and hope you can change materials from solids to at least liquids. So that way they'll stop deleting heat. But that was literally the hardest playthrough I've ever done. I don't know if it's been updated either. Like, that's the thing. I don't know if it works because that was done before the DLC's release. And yeah, that was really freaking hard. That was the hardest playthrough I've ever done. It's like, Cold Planet is actually super easy in base, Oxygen Not Included. Absolute Zero Planet, you are absolutely screwed. Like, I remember that the water sieve also doesn't work. Until you can get the, like, everything over its temperature requirement. So, when you put in, technically, I had 33 degrees sand that I threw in the water sieve. The environment, I eventually got up to about 31 degrees C. And then I put water in that was, if I remember right, 23 degrees. The surrounding environment was still so cold, even with the gases around it, that it would freeze instantly and break. Because, again, the mod sets everything to be outputting at, like, absolute zero. So it would just destroy the water sieve. I ended up using, I was technically utilizing a quick flash steam method while using, I think it was a thermal aqua tuner and a liquid tepidizer to purify liquids for a while until we continued to just completely insulate everything. Like, the whole base just looked like a tiny tube everywhere until I could finally start expanding. It was kind of like playing a lava tube map, but then it was even more so that because everything that came into contact with anything that was still at the absolute zero numbers, again, the environment was deleting heat. So it made it ridiculously difficult to do anything. I had to flat out just use the tile mechanic in this game to heat up areas, which is whenever you put down a tile, the tile will spawn in at 40 degrees C. Like, that was literally the only reason that playthrough was even doable. That's literally the biggest problem with it. Because they thrive so well in the normal game. Well, that's what 2,000 hours of Oxygen Not Included will do for you. I'm not gonna lie. You learn really quickly what you need to do. Nope, not that. You're taking the aluminum, thank you very much. But yeah, thriving-wise, I could say, yeah, I can agree with you there. Still doesn't mean that we're not going through a bunch of struggle. It's just that I know how to deal with, like, certain crises when they occur, because I'm so used to seeing them. I think anybody who plays, like, RimWorld, Oxygen Not Included, Kenshi, like, if you play a lot of them, then you know what the norm is, and you know where problems can occur. And then you try to just fix the issues that you end up seeing, and then plan for the future of other issues that may or may not come your way. Nope. Check this. Still running on all the sand? Hey, we are. Good. Am I leaking anything anywhere? Oh, they're just making oxalate. Got it. I was like, wait a minute. Why is my electrolyzer still running? Oh, because they're making oxalate. Got it. Okay. Paku. I do need to build a Paku farm here. There's just so much Paku on this planet that it's like, okay, this just demands Paku farm. I also need to go over here and uncover this one. I need to bring water over to this. I need to just get everything set up so I don't have to worry about it. I'll be happy once I can actually get the Cobalt Volcano online. It'll probably be... what? Here's the big question. How much cable do I want to change over to gold? Because there is a lot. Like, all the cable probably needs to be switched over to gold first. And then the plastic tiles of the main base need to be switched over. I think once all that's done, then I think we should be good to go. Obviously, I also do need to get the nuclear power plant online. And I really need to get the actual piping in. How much aluminum do we have? Not good. Still too hot for this. This will be going right here. Actually, I think I need to put that off to the side if I remember correctly. Yeah, that actually needs to go there. Nuclear waste gets put out here. The steel pump needs to go right there. At 275, it's too hot for this here. So yeah, nuclear waste gets pumped out through here. Actually, it gets sent all the way up. It's smoke or steam. This is all steam. That's all steam. This is all CO2. Yes, the steam is extremely useful. This is water. It's all high energy water. I've been slowly extracting... Well, I've been cooling the entire area, and I've been slowly extracting the steam and putting it into my water tank. I guess eventually I need to pump out all the steam from these boxes here. The only issue is... take iron. I'm going to pause this real quick. One there, and then there's like 2 outputs there. One there. 2, 3. There we go. No, it is not infinite. Like, this was the entire core of the planet. This was all lava. I have now, condensed it down into material rock and also tiles. But, yeah, there's a finite amount of resources down here. I also do need to take heavy welt wire all the way across. There. Down. Do I want to actually do that, or do... This will all be vacuums. Like, technically you can just slap these up in the roof. So I won't touch any liquids that I actually put in here. Though also, if I use crude oil for this, or naphtha, then the temperature sitting around 400 should be fine. But I think that I should probably just slap these up here like this. Because I will have liquids down here. So, there'll be a liquid coolant here. There'll be a pipe going back through here as well. On both of these. And then the actual power, because this will not be touching the liquid, should be fine. So they'll end up looking like that. So sadly, this one will only be running on 2 of these. Technically 1, because the neutronium is in the way. There's really nothing I can do about that. That one will run like that. These 2 boxes will be completely filled. I don't really need to worry about still debating if I want to actually set them up to go this way. And cool down the nuclear waste. Or if I want to take them up. Because I can technically do it like this. Like so. Or I can take this one through there. And that. And then do it like that. Doesn't really matter, it's just a point. Thinking just like this. Just go down and over. This is the only one that bothers me. Like, all the rest of them, perfectly fine. This one bothers me. It's gonna be barely putting on any level of cooling for that. You also need to make some diamond before we get all this online. I'll need a diamond temperature shift plate here, here. And the actual cooling loop. The cooling loop needs to go through here, so... Clean these up a bit. Bridges. There we go. Let's go like that. About that point. Height priority. So the main reason that I utilize bridges is that these force a merge point and also force pipe priority. So if you don't do this, you can end up having issues like what we were having earlier, where the actual gases, like over here, these won't merge. Unless you use an actual point where it can actually output, it won't merge. Also, if you end up putting a machinery, say, on this direct line, this will just be outputting, and then this won't actually mesh with it. So if you're using these, will force it. Which is why I call it, it's technically nicknamed the pipe priority. Like, that's how the game calculates how things need to merge together. So if you just put pipes together, they don't actually, you know, sync. And it can easily cause little, like, miniature versions. And it's super annoying. That's why you'll see me using bridges, like, God fucking everywhere. Literally everywhere. But for down here, the main reason that we use the bridges is so that way we can add a radiant liquid pipe all the way across there. And then take that goes there. And then when I get more aluminum, then we do the same up there. And that creates a cooling loop. Yes. The reason that I use bridges like this for the entire nuclear setup is radiant pipes here to here, and then insulated pretty much all the way down to there, and then over. And the only issue I have is that these need to be obsidian here. There we go. Now, obviously, I will need to build the junction point right in front of this thing. I could also just stick this here. Still kind of debating. Because the pump will go here. This is all neutronium. So I could just slap it right there. Not have to worry about it too much. It's like, this is just so perfect of a spot. The only issue is that I need to make sure that it can overflow. Yeah. So then I'll have to go like that, and then that'll have to connect there. The actual thing will be there. God, I wish I could do this like elsewhere. Let me see how this would look if I did it over here instead. So you can't put it through neutronium. That's the actual input. This is the problem when working with neutronium. I could also just put it here in the corner. So. But again, same problem. Does it look good? I need it to work, not so much look good. Like that, therein lies the problem, is that it needs to function. Fashion souls for Tuxel. Come on, man. Technically, I can do this. I can set this up where this is on top. This goes right there. This connects there, that goes past it. That connects there, and there. And that would work. And then obviously the excess power just connects directly there. And I would need a thermal sensor over here, this side. And a liquid coat, which would be pretty much like right there. I know. And I'm like, this actually doesn't look that bad. It lines up perfectly with the whole system. Just I'm kind of annoyed. I would like to put it down here in the bowl, but I can't really justify it due to the pipe priority situation. Because this must go beyond this. It's just, you can't place anything in neutronium. If this piece wasn't here, I could do it. But I think that that's going to be the spot. But, yeah, I think that's going to be the spot. You sold me. God damn it, killer. RNG would be proud. Randy Random would be proud. Yeah, that should work. Obviously, I'll run the system for a little while before I make sure that it's actually fully working, so that way we can do it. But before that, we should be. The real issue is building out all of the automation before we put in the nuclear reactor, because none of it is going to survive in here until I actually lower the temperature even further. So, good, we are lowering pressure for hydrogen. There is a lot. I do mean a lot of hydrogen that escaped. Thankfully, it's all going back into this little box. This is not an easy process, you know. This is a very slow and tedious one. It's worth it. It's definitely a slow and tedious process. I do enjoy the fact that all of these are set to 2. I'm pretty sure I think I set all these pretty low. And the dupes are still getting to them, which means I've got a lot of idle dupes. The suits have a limit. It's around 1,050, if I remember correctly. They still technically knock out all of it, but there is like an upper threshold. Yeah, environmental exchange 333.57. Homeostasis -557, and duplicate generating. Yeah. So they still they're still technically experiencing the heat. It's just that the suit completely negates it. Obviously they'll still get the toasty environment, but that's about it. If it goes over the threshold, yeah. No, they're the best they can be. Like the suits don't change in their temperature transfer, but from the environment. The only thing is that the way that soups are calculated, right now there is the best way I could describe this is there's the game environment, which is like, okay, cool. So this is on a layer of itself in the game code. So each tile is its own layer, even doors, etc., etc. Then you've got the gas environment, which is technically the background. Then you have all the critters in their own layer. And then you've got the duplicates in their layer, and then there's the suit layer. When the dupes are in the suit layer, they are only in the suit layer, meaning that their environment rarely impacts them unless it goes over the actual threshold for the suit layer. Then they start getting burns. That's when it actually starts calculating the environment. Before they reach that temperature, they have no interaction, technically. Also, the research tree is almost done. I just got, yeah, some space research materials, hydrogen rocket, decomp shower, and the monument. Oh, and the ribbons. It's very rare for me to actually use the ribbons. Yeah, everything else is done. I could have finished that sooner, I just didn't really push that much. We got what we needed, we've been working with what we needed. How much clay do I have right now? Ceramic 19.1. Okay, cool. Almost back up to 500 kilograms of hydrogen. Oh dear God. In theory, yes. The only thing is I would need to produce, I would need to get my other Rodriguez online completely. Right now I am just compressing oxygen. We've got 27, 27.6. I am technically just using a basic atmospheric compressor, and also these guys produce so much goddamn hydrogen. It's ridiculous. Once I get a nuclear power plant online, though, these guys are just better in general. The main reason being is that nuclear rockets are actually faster. Considerably so. So the only time that you need to care about distance, as well as for using the hydrogen, if I remember correctly, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15? 10. Yeah, it's pretty much like if you're going to the bottom or top of the map from your home planet, is when you really need to care about hydrogen rockets. But if you're just using like nuclear rockets, once you get a nuclear power plant online, or you end up like say building an infinite supply of nuclear waste from nuclear waste, then you just use nuclear rockets to reach like all of these standard locations. Like the nuclear rocket range is pretty safe within this bubble. When I start having to go towards the edges of the map for POIs and other stuff, that's when you need the hydrogen rocket. Or say if you want to actually build a satellite, then I would normally just build a hydrogen rocket out of it. Yeah. Because the hydrogen rocket is slightly faster than a steam engine, which is good. Like it's if I remember right, it's just a tiny touch faster than the petroleum rocket, but the petroleum rocket houses the most modules until hydrogen, and then the hydrogen can handle the most. The only issue is that you need to take a shitload of fuel if you want to go big. And then obviously in DLC, you can only build rockets up to the space edge, and even then, I think the tallest rocket you can make was 40? It was like 45 or something. Yeah, but yay big. And that's so much overkill, it's not even funny. The petroleum rocket, if I remember right, it's the same size as a steam rocket, whereas the hydrogen can go pretty much infinitely until you get, I think, the 45 limit. Like, you can build a hydrogen rocket that can go 64 tiles. Like, the entire thing is just fuel. Like, it's just all oxalate and hydrogen tanks, and that's it. The only other issue with hydrogen rockets, though, right now, I would need to take coal, and I would need to make natural tiles. And explain each part of the rocket? Well, that's somewhat easy. If you're in the DLC, then you will end up getting a lot more modules than you would in the base. Obviously, you have your different types of fuel types for the rockets, blah, blah, blah. You have your standard nose cone, which is the stuff that you start with. Solo nose cone can be used to technically get a dupe to the end, aka the spatial tear. And if you want, you can do that. The glass panes. These glass panes, these are solar panels. So technically they nerfed them a little bit when they released them, but they're still one of the best power sources in the game. They cost the same amount as a standard solar panel. So these guys at max wattage can, I think, like 380 on these. These guys can only do 60, but they're only one tile thick. They cost 200 glass each. And the big and only real downside is that for each one you stack, you lose, I think it was 5%? It's 5 or 8%. Nope. That's dead. Nope. Run, KO. Run. But yes, these solar panels, if you stack 10 of them, the bottom one will be running at, I believe, 5%. Like, total, because it gets worse as you add. You really only need 3. 3 of these things running when you're in space and flying around is normally enough to run for, like, most of your systems. What if you skip a space? This thing? The artifact transport module? There's also the drill cone and the battery. And that's what you're asking. These things are the Trailblazer modules. This is what you get. This is what you use to get the dupes down onto a planet. And there's a rover module here, which allows me to deploy the robots. And then obviously large oxidizer tanks, small oxidizer tanks, large liquid fuel tanks, etc., etc. Oh, you can do that, but it's still going to affect it. The solar panels themselves will still fuck with stuff. So, let me just scoot this one on up here. It's still the same amount of lux reduction. Technically speaking, even though this game is 2D, these solar panels in the game's code are hanging off the side of the rocket. So this is currently blocking this. And this one is blocking this one. That's how they coded it. So remember how I said that the game works in layers? These are on their own like layer system, because they're technically classified as tiles. At least that's how they coded it to nerf them. Because before they nerfed the solar panels, all you had to do was take a rocket platform, slap it, like, say, right here, and then just put, like, 50 solar panel modules on top of an empty rocket and a battery. And then you just take that, take a wire, like, say, take a heavy wire, and just connect them all, and then connect that into your base. Now, that is still technically a viable strategy, because these things stacked on top of each other will generate more power than these solar panels had ever hoped to actually create, even with the nerf. So you can just technically make a bunch of these and just slap them over here. Obviously, these are limited to 60 watts each, but they don't take up as much space and you can stack them vertically. So, yeah. Even with the nerf, they're still better. It's just that obviously you need more of them, which means you need more glass. So, if you have a ton of sand and you've been running glass like indefinitely, feel free to do that if you wish. Completely valid strategy. The devs have already nerfed it down to where they feel that it's fair, so I don't really see that changing anytime soon. Because, I mean, again, the resource investment is huge, but you do get more out of it than just this. So, yeah. Technically, I could do that right now if I needed more power. I just take a little rocket thing, and slap it right there, and then I could just slap on a big old battery and then just tower a solar panel right there. Don't have to put any space frame modules, don't have to really do anything. Other module-wise, obviously you have the cartographer module, which in theory is nice. Like, the cartographer module, I wish it was better. Mostly because you can just do this. Obviously, the real issue is that you do need oxygen to run this thing. But, yeah, you can just slap an enclosed telescope inside of a rocket. That is if you want to have max range. Or you can just take a basic telescope and slap maybe 2 of these in here. The other issue, obviously, is that telescopes do not impact your Great Hall. So you can just put a telescope directly inside of a rocket with a Great Hall. And even though this is a smaller ranged one, then this still is allows you to actually explore stuff. As you can see, whenever I land on a planet, I normally just let Rotopoly handle the solar acquisition and just look around everywhere whenever we land, so that works pretty well. Right now my biggest obvious issue is getting the nuclear power plant online for the nuclear waste for rats. Got the people to see the Big Bang. Exactly. Technically, in my personal opinion, I feel like the reason that the devs allow this to occur is that, in theory, you would technically take this observation deck and you just slap it over here. Oh, we got a bot. One moment. September 2020. Background and icon and everything. Oh, looks like they got hacked. Rip. Rip, rip. Let me report them real quick. And I'll explain how I think that the devs see the observation. There we go. But because the game doesn't actually allow you to put any modules sideways, I think what the devs are calculating this as is this giant thing is actually over here poking out the side of the rocket. Which is why it works. Because technically speaking, the game calculates in a diagonal from this tile, if I remember, from the one that's right in front of the chair. So every single tile that's this direction, this can detect that way, as well as up and then this way. And then the telescopes also have a 5 range. Yeah, 5 range to the outside world, outside of their own personal range. So as long as this is up against a wall, it counts. So that's the reason I'm kind of like, I think that the devs pretty much just envisioned the telescopes inside rockets as just being attached on the outside of the rocket, and then your dupe just kind of hangs out the side of the rocket. At least that's what it seems like, anyway. I hope that makes sense. That's pretty much the reason that all the telescopes work in rockets. Two 102 kilograms. Oh boy. I feel so bad for Bear. What is your construction now? Oh god. You're literally almost capped. Literally my fastest building dupe. He's been down here the entire time. I'm so sorry, Bear. I really am. It's so much to construct. Nope. Get 0%. Oh man. Bear, I'm gonna send you back in base. I feel bad now. Poor Bear. Pretty sure my other constructors can't be in here because they keep getting attacked by bees. Try to let Sand and the others through. Maybe they won't get attacked. We'll see. Oh good. Finally mop that up. And I can hit the cloud. Obviously, I do need to vent all of the hydrogen that escaped. So, I need to take care of that. Okay, besides that, what are you guys over here doing? I think it's fine actually. Yeah, once I sealed up and insulated all the piping, I think we're pretty good. Still dealing with some hot materials, but all of it there. Plastic is the hot stuff. Oh, rentables. What do we get? Hatchling sand, farming titanium, starry-eyed squeamish. I think we'll just take the sand. And we'll take it over here because we'll need it. I don't have to make all the sand myself. That's probably a good idea. Glass, glass, glass. That's 4 more solar panels. Yeah. Actually, sorry. 6 more solar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good. Have I sent all the glass yet? I think we did. 190 to go. I will just send some of the plastic back. Oops. You guys care to take this up? Or that? Either one of these? I guess. I'm still debating on when if I want to do a Slickster farm. If I do, I'm gonna probably put it up here. I could just do something tiny and just gonna set it up here in this little corner. I shouldn't use plastic because this will get hot. I need to steal that corner. Good. Okay, I need to send the plastic over to Tripola. Yeah, all of that's glass. So, I'm gonna have plenty of power here. I just need plastic and steel. And then we can start taming all the volcanoes over there. And once this place is actually vented, there is a lot of material. Hold it. No. It's gonna take it a little bit, because, again, there's very little space that I can give it beyond that. It will actually shortly. I think I have enough power now. I can actually start running the whole thing again. Double check. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I do feel like I need to stick the batteries into the actual steam room here soon. This is technically a backup battery for the actual network, because this runs dangerously close to annihilating the power line. It is exceedingly close to that, where it's like, I don't like being this close. Thankfully, this only takes a little bit of energy, so even if it does run out, it doesn't actually fry the line. Yeah, it's making 40 now, 24. Still don't know what's going on with this. Because ever since the update, we've been getting nuclear waste actually, like, spawning inside of my airflow tiles. Which is super weird. Originally, I thought it was these things that was generating nuclear waste here, but now that they're not. I thought it was these, but every time they fire, it's not. It's just kind of randomly occurring. Again, nuclear waste is acting weird. Nothing new. Literally 1 kilogram in there. I don't know what's causing that. Can't mop it up. Any in there? Definitely in the weird category. When I say, by the way, when I save and reload the game, this is always a different number. Like, that's the problem. It always changes, so I don't know what's going on with it. And it's only because of the Fast Friends update. This was not occurring. Just very weird. This wasn't causing me problems. This would be working a lot easier. Can't really uncover that without it loading at this point, though. Because again, these are airflow tiles. So the fact that I have nuclear waste inside of an airflow tile, it's definitely like, is that nuclear fallout? No. Okay. So how is nuclear waste the liquid in an airflow tile? Save load bugs, everybody. Save load bugs. Literally what's happening right now. That's what you need to install. Oh, no. Well, the good news is we're down from 18 kilograms per tile down to about 12. It'll be a little while before that one's ready to go. Wow. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I'm just going to chalk it up to a save load bug because it's always different every time I save and load the game. Sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is. It's definitely not consistent. Right. Weird. So I think those two are going to collide with each other. Yeah, they didn't increase, didn't increase. Normal. This falls down here. We're very close to colliding. This, by the way, is actually a safety mechanism, so if they don't collide with each other, then it will just slam into the airflow tiles and then create nuclear. Yeah, I have no idea how that's happening. All I know is it is. Weird. It only started happening with the last update. If mesh tile, this explodes. Because again, this is currently contained because there is 200 kilograms of naphtha. If I put a mesh tile here, this is 1 kilogram worth of nuclear waste. It will push this way, which will push this out, and then this nuclear waste will delete the naphtha. And it will just probably erupt straight out. Or it'll explode. Like it'll either go straight up, or it will go through the corners. Either one, I don't really want to be having that happen, because that's 3,000 kilograms. That's probably enough to fill up to about there. Yes, nuclear waste does not need 1,000 kilograms to fill a tile. It's 700 if I remember right. So yeah. This is currently just a stasis chamber to keep the pressure safe, because airflow tiles cannot be pressurized. But I don't know why I'm getting nuclear waste in there. Technically, I can just turn on debug and then wipe this clean, because this is actually definitely a bug. And I would not have any complaints with that. But for right now, I'm just going to have to leave it alone and see if a hotfix fixes it later. Because it's definitely weird. Not terrible, it's just mildly annoying. Because it's slowing down the process of radioactive decay. As you can see here, it's creating a negative 24... Yeah, radiation blocking 24%. And again, this just happened because of the fast run. This was not occurring. In theory, I could try to add insulated tiles right here, but this might still... How hot are these now? 500, 7. Melting point again, 1,400. No, that'll be fine. But yeah, it is slowing down the rad bolt production. Is the part that's annoying. I'll turn this back on. I'm pretty sure temperature's stabilized. And it's still dark green. That'll be fine. Come on, you two. Charge faster. Well, again, I am actually going for all the achievements. If I use debug, then I would have to either do a state manipulation to fix the bug, because again, we're currently dealing with a bug. But right now, I'd rather just not. is again, they'll probably just hotfix it. Also, if I save and load, normally it just deletes these 2 tiles worth of materials, so it's not that big of an issue. It's just that, obviously, as we're streaming, I prefer not to have to save and load constantly, because, again, that takes like 6 minutes. It could take between 2 minutes and 6 minutes. I'd rather just not deal with that. I mean, it's bad for you guys, so I don't really care that much. It's just slightly more annoying because it does slow down the rival animation. That's really the only negative. Another one. Yeah, these guys are making 109. These guys were originally making like 80. But the reduction is pretty noticeable. Rodriguez? You mean this? You're talking about the Spodum. The reason that this was originally coined the name Rodriguez setup was the nickname, or I should say the username of the Redditor that ended up putting it together originally. Because people took a long time at the beginning in 2017 when Oxygen Not Included released, and were trying to figure out how the electrolyzers functioned in comparison to power generation to power draw. And then when people figured out that the electrolyzer is actually a self-powering machine, or a Spodum, so self-powering oxygen machine. The man who ended up putting it all together for the first time, and in this exact configuration, was, well, his nickname was Rodriguez. So that's why everyone calls it the Rodriguez setup. Obviously there's a lot more different types of setups, but this is the one that I've always just ended up using. Originally, I actually used to use just this basics kind of setup, but then I didn't actually have the Atmos sensor pressures on each side to counteract the overall overpressuring from both of these electrolyzers. And then when I went through and was looking through what he had actually posted, the overall usage for using 2 Atmos sensors for each side because of how the game tick updates, this makes it actually like 8% better than what I was originally using. So it's just like, okay, cool. I'm just going to end up using Rodriguez's system anyway. No biggie. And that did end up firing while we were talking about this one. God damn it. We'll get another one here shortly. Yes. So, this is a full Rodriguez. This is a mini Rodriguez. Full pound, not full pound. These are the mini, and then the micro is just the one, which is just the setup. Technically, this actually is overkill for one of these. I technically need 2. I need actually 2 hydrogen generators to offset one electrolyzer, just because of how much actual hydrogen is actually produced excess if you set it up with an automation wire. Like right now, this is actually disabled because I was just burning it off because I was having too much. So I do need to eventually cool this area down. I will probably end up rerouting the cool slush geyser through there. I do like the mini as well. The mini is hilariously useful and also really stupid because it's like you only need 1 pump. Well, technically 2 pumps, 1 Atmos sensor, and an electrolyte. Exactly. Like it's so tiny, and it's just you slap on a smart battery to keep the hydrogen running. Whenever you overproduce hydrogen, you just sever the line, and then you're good. But it's like, yeah, this easily handles 3 duplicants with their. Like that's the reason that, like all of my rocket designs, like I could just run 3 Atmos suits the entire time, and you don't have to care. Like it's overkill. Electrolyzers are exceedingly powerful. Like, it's dumb. How does a Rodriguez work? Which one? Mini, micro, or the full size? Because the full size, if I remember correctly, based on the numbers, this is producing 112 by 4. You're looking at 448 grams of hydrogen per second. The oxygen production, this is enough for 32.5 dupes from 4 of these. So if I had 32 dupes here, this is exactly enough for, well, 32.5 would be enough for them. Somewhat. The only thing is that as you add more electrolyzers, you're actually producing more energy from the water that is consumed. And then you can also use the hydrogen to cool the system. So, as a whole, full Rodriguez is 5 hydrogen. A mini Rodriguez is 3. A micro is technically 2. Which is a bit weird, but yes. Now, I needed to actually get these set up for the whole thing, but yeah. These produce enough hydrogen from 2 of these to run technically 3 of these at all times. I just don't have the third one set up, so this one is intermittently running. This one is exactly calibrated to the actual pressures. You'll see it says max gas pressure. This will exactly pretty much run to its burn rate. Obviously, I am dumping a crap load of extra hydrogen into the system, but it is pretty close to that. But the main thing is that even with all of this running, this is still positive 1,235 watts. Yes. Or, if you really want to be kind of a asshole about this, with this kind of setup, I do run a cycle sensor, just to burn off the extra instead of an element sensor. So this is currently using a battery to tell the hydrogen generator when to run with an OR gate, and then also running a time. That way I can calibrate it to the amount of dupes that are actually here. As I add more dupes, normally I can actually shrink them, because then I'm producing, well, I'm consuming more power to run more things because I have more dupes on the planet, and also I am needing more oxygen. But if I need more oxygen, I can always run it higher on this rate, or lower on this rate if we're actually consuming more of the hydrogen power to it. And again, it's just an OR gate. OR gate with a smart battery set at 9515, and then this is just variable depending on how many dupes you actually need. Gas-wise and the sensor-wise, I normally run at 900 for oxygen and 600 for hydrogen. You can run this at 450 and 800 respectively. This just makes oxygen and hydrogen. And it also is power positive. Because even if you include the power from the liquid pump required, all of the extra vents, and the 2 electrolyzers, this is still power positive. This is, I think, only about 300 watts. Like 340 or something. Cannot remember the exact number. This one's the 1,235. And these ones were only like 300 watt power positive. And then over here on Radioactive, I think the mini is like, what, 120? I keep forgetting how much positive it actually is. Yeah. It's to supply oxygen and a little excess power. As well as if you want to end up making hydrogen, and you're, say, in the base game, and you do not have the bees, because this is stupid. Like, not gonna lie, Saturn critter traps are dumb on a hydrogen production. This is so much overkill, it's not even funny. These things originally, when they first came into the game, these actually did attack the Saturn critter traps. All of them, I caught them on stream and everything. But I'm guessing that they've been fixed now, because obviously we haven't seen a single one do that. Yeah, Saturn critter traps are dumb. As long as you can keep them nice and chilled, because again, they can't survive above, well, 0 degrees. Yeah, you're good. Now, I do need to pay attention to my actual cooling loop here. I believe that that's going to negative 20 now. Yeah. It's actually going to negative 20. Probably because of the extra hot water right now. Negative 28. Just need to see where our cooling deficit is. Oh, still negative 27. Huh. Should be alternating blobs. Something hot in here that I'm not seeing? No. Yellow irradiance. So this is made out of aluminum. It has a thermal conductivity of 410. Meaning that this is pretty much instantaneously exchanging its environmental energy. Oh, I should say. It is instantaneously expending its energy if it was hot. Because it's cold, it's absorbing all the energy in the environment. And reducing the entire temperature around everything. So these are insulated, these are radiant. If you see a white one, that's just a normal pipe, and that also works like a radiant pipe. It's just that the exchange is much less. Like, these are super cooling the entire thing. Which is why you've got orange up here, and deep blue down here. Technically speaking, I don't really need to chill the oxygen that I'm actually producing. Just kind of felt like doing it, because then I have to go through the area anyway. If I need to actually chill down the bees even further, I think that wasn't running for a little bit. Like, why is the temperature so much higher than normally is? Normally it's negative 30. Now, if I start seeing the temperature going around negative 10, I'll just seal in all of the radiant piping that's actually inside the base, and then just let that run on its own. Eventually, I want to move the liquid radiant pipes, so I'll sever it here, bring this piping over here, and connect it to this aqua tuner instead. So eventually all the bees will be connected to this aqua tuner, and possibly another aqua tuner that will be put down here. And then that way I can remove this giant freaking cooling loop that I had to put in before because I was using it for the actual steam rocket. How is the rocket doing? Check. 7.2. 4.0 at the top. At least it's not 20. Like 18 to 20. Yes, they can. I would never recommend it unless you're running super cooling. Because if you start stacking cooling loops like that, you can absolutely just shatter your pipe. But yeah, the only thing I would ever recommend, like stacking systems, would be super coolant. But most likely, you'll probably just end up using a multi-setup anyway. So let me see, kind of like how I would have it set over here, where this is all nice and compacted. Like, this is as tight as you can make it with a full cooling loop. And this is the base cooling loop. And then this is the fridge cooling. So, this one's designed to cool the fridge. This one's cooling the entire base. And you can just stack these things just ad nauseum this way. You want to see the automation? It just... But, yeah. Technically speaking, if you're going to build like a sour gas boiler, you're probably going to be running like 10 of these things. Oh, is it 10 to 14? That is if you're running like a full size gas boiler with one full pipe. At least, was it? If I remember right, I think it's 10. Yeah, I think it's 10 thermal aqua tuners for one full pipe of 10 kilograms of petroleum. Just so that way you can handle the mass. And that's with full super cooling. I can't remember if it was 10 or 14, but I think it was 10. Mind you, you would never need that much. like we're talking stupid builds over here, but yeah, that's just some extreme overkill. You can do it. You can 100% do it. But yeah, that is... you're looking at absurd levels if you're going that far. Slowly but assuredly putting everything in. I feel bad for Bear because I think he's the only one that actually wants to go in this room. Pretty sure everyone else can as well. Yeah, no, everybody can. Just Bear's the only one that is actually willing to go into the hot box. At least for building purposes. I even opened it up for a lot more dupes and they still just don't want to go in there. Robo and Zhao? Actually, no. Zhao probably shouldn't go in there yet. Let me go to their skills real quick. Yeah, Bynard, get you rocketry so you can get sustainability. Fit wearing, put you 15. There. Probably put you on doctoring so that way you can actually protect people over there. You are one of the best. Dupe was the Rockthus has 18. There's an 11. Vern's just good at everything. Same as Soul Cactus. Perfect, was it you? Oh, you're already at 16. I should leave you alone for now. Piloting 7. Fractus has a stupid level in husbandry at this point. Just looking through all the dupes real quick. Husbandry, prototype, that was the one. Prototype's the one with 21. God, that's absurd. No, okay, you do actually have suit. You should be fine to go. I'll be so happy when this is finally filled so we can actually start not having to worry about the nuclear reactor running out of water. Because I'm going to be continuing to dump water into the system, and then I will actually be pumping water out of the system into the tank. Oh, into the actual nuclear power plant's tank. Because that way this will just be a buffer box for it. I don't have to worry about it too much. Anything inbound right now in space? Yes, it is. 0.2 cycle. 27 seconds. Next payload. I'll make sure that this should be active. Yeah, I'll have to send over plastic to start replacing everything with plastic so the dupes can move around faster. Should come raining in from up here. Yeah, thankfully everyone's back at base. That's good. Sadly, the rocket's going to be a little bit, guys, before we can actually launch it again. I have to actually purge the entire thing of its, like, atmosphere. Too much gas. Come on, shells. Wish to see you come in. Yeah. Normally, I will say this. In most playthroughs, I will carpet bomb the planet before I land on it. This one, because of just the need for different resources, sometimes I'll just swim a little bit and then immediately just deploy the dupes. Oh, here's one. There we go. More plastic on the way. And this playthrough, I've just been kind of bootstrapping bases a lot faster than I normally do. Is you can't just carpet an entire planet with resources and then build. When we find the water world, that's probably what I'm going to do, though. Ooh, a plug slug. Hooray! First plug slug from the printer. Also, glow stick dupe. Steve. I want you, Steve. You have slow learning. One of the worst traits in the game is you can't fix it. But he is a cook. I should probably take him. Damn it. I really don't want a slow learner. But it's Steve, and he's a glow stick dude. I think I'm gonna have to pass him. God, that's painful. But I really do not want a slow learner. They lose 1%. They literally lose 30% of their EXP from every action. So even leveling their athletics is worse. Do I have any iron, like any resources in here I need to be careful of? Ooh, I can't call the plug slug in here. I think we're good on Butalin. Yep, okay. We're gonna call him in here. He's not gonna do much, but at least he exists. Also, I need to go to the restroom real quick. Put that up. Move the camera a little bit. There we go. I will be right back. About probably like 2 minutes. But I'll leave that up so that way you guys can enjoy the actual launches. Here be, guys. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. The reason that the glow stick is so good, let me see if I can find mine. Yeah, where are you? Here. This is gonna lag a little bit. Where is it? There we go. Radiation sickness, radiation resistance, glow stick perk, 33%. What that means is that if you put them in a lead suit, where is my lead suit? A 66% radiation resistance. I think you can see where this is going. You have a glow stick dupe that is in a lead suit, you get 99% radiation resistance. If they eat seafood on top of that, so say cooked seafood also gives you 20% resistance. This actually puts you at over 100%. So a dupe that is in a lead suit that has eaten seafood and is a glow stick dupe can literally just walk in to a nuclear reactor room and not care because it will do nothing. If anything, they will actually be actually losing radiation, which is weird, but yes, that is a thing. Sadly, radiation eaters, on the other hand, they reduce the amount of rads that they have on their body every cycle by 150 over time. But they have no resistance, which is the reason why I say that radiation eater kind of sucks. Yes, if you go into consumables, it loads. You just tell them to only ever eat seafood. You just, whichever dupe it is, the Kyo in this case, I can find them, I would remove every other permission except seafood, and then they would only eat seafood. Obviously, I don't need that, because, well, A, we don't have Pakus here yet. After all, we did just finally get to Paku, so we can finally start printing Paku now. It's like, thank goodness I can print Puffs, and I can print Paku now. Hooray! Sadly, I need these guys to make a Puff Prince egg, and then I need to bring the Puff Prince all the way down here into the chlorine. Because I need squeaky puffs. So that is still fully regulated. Good. Good. But yes, I am glad that I can finally print Paku. That makes me very happy. Because, again, we need the nuclear reactor online. I also would like to have Paku on this planet at some point. I may actually just shove them into the water tank and then just leave them here. The problem is, obviously, they are extreme lag creators. So probably not going to put them in the water tank. I may convert the water tank into a Paku feeder and then make a little micro extra area for them inside the water tank. But right now, if I do end up printing any, they're probably just going to get a tile right here. Because the Paku can just live in a water tile that's just one by one. But I'm just happy I can finally print them. I'll be happy once we get shovels as well. That'll be the big one for me. I'm probably going to do 2 more pip ranches, and then over here I'll probably build a shovel ranch. I'm still thinking that we're probably going to put slicksters over here. So I'm just kind of... I should probably clean this up and actually put them in. Need insulated tile there, mesh tiles here, and then a bowl right there. It's too cold for the steam. I'm also debating about where I'm going to send the the polluted oxygen. I might just start shipping that straight on up here. I don't really need puffs on this planet. I don't have any way of making chlorine, so kind of stuck without having a hot tub on main base. I would like a hot tub on main base. I just don't think that we can. Because, you know, no renewable chlorine. We're not going to get the chance. Oh, 49. Wow. There we go. How is the rocket doing? 9 kilograms, okay. Yeah, it's slow, but it gets the job done. I'll be happy when I can finally switch over to all nuclear. In theory, yes. At least in the DLC. In base game, you definitely could. Because instead of getting the star map, load, in base game, you just get a like layered map that shows you distances, and you need to build rockets that can reach those distances. And then the resources are renewable, just like these POIs are. So when I hit this one up and I actually end up drilling it, what'll happen is that I will get like, this will probably be like maybe 78 cycles, and then most of the mass will be renewed. So as long as you have space POIs that have the resources in them, like ore and whatnot, then you can pretty much renew everything. Obviously, I need to get my volcano tamers going. Like, these need to be set up and going. Obviously, it's going to take us a little bit of time to clean out the rocket and get things ready, so that way we can come back and actually do it. I was hoping we'd be able to do that tonight, but obviously we had to fix a bunch of other stuff. And yes, these are still getting rid of the uranium. Good. I'm slowly watching the green go away from over here and move this way. Obviously, we still have a giant chunk here that needs to go. But yeah, tonight was plan the nuclear reactor, clean out the rockets now that we're back, get everything prepared for the actual volcano tamers, and then trying to actually stabilize this planet. Which is why I'm sending tons and tons and tons of resources. I've sent enough glass that I can probably cover the entire planet in solar panels, which is good, and I've been sending enough plastic to replace the entire base here. I will need to insulate this and put it in its own little cooling box, and then use the excess energy, but that'll definitely be when we get back here. Also... Okay, good. I feel bad for Bear. Like, very few other people have come down here to help him. That sucks. Like, you guys have access. I just don't want to help him. Yeah, well. But the main thing I needed to do... where to put it? You know what? Put it right there. We have a BuddyBud. I forgot I needed to put this in here. I would make it out of diamond. I will replace this with diamond eventually, but definitely I want to get the BuddyBud in now. Because I always put BuddyBuds in every base that I play, because they are the best plant. Of course, it chooses one of my slowest dupes. DWF, welcome, and thank you. Okay, cool. At least it picked Gene. I'll take Gene. No. Right. Don't tell me the switch is conflicting with it. BuddyBud should be able to fit there. They change its size proportions? Hey, hold up. Not readable. I had one over here, I think. No, it's still only one tile. Why is that conflicting? It's literally the same size. Actually, the Murph leaf is slightly bigger. I'm now confused. Hold up. Did they break the BuddyBud again? Like... I am very confused. Because I've read over the patch notes, nothing's changed about the BuddyBud. Okay, hold up. Let me see if I can... Maybe it's just the pot? I'm very confused right now. Why? What'd you break? Other than a lot of things, including pip AI. Oh, by the way, do not allow your pips, if you've got a like standard breeding room, do not put a cargo container anywhere. They still haven't fixed it. But if you do end up putting one of these down, what'll happen is every single pip in your base will stand that's in range will stand on top of that and do nothing else. They will not eat. They will not want hugs. They will just stand there, and they'll do a little wavy, weird pattern. It's super creepy. It's like I think I had 38 pips standing in one tile. Yeah. What the heck did they do to the BuddyBud? Oh, I've had many more. I actually normally build pip sanctuaries. One of them I originally had that covered the entire map in one, like I actually had a full-size map like for last playthrough. Which I, for the most part, ended before the, like, what was it? Wasn't the Rad New Worlds update? It was the one in December. Because I was already pre-planning for this one. But I had one that was like the entire map as one large room, and then I just put all the pips in it. I think we had 163 pips in one large area. Didn't cause lag, which was hilarious. But it just proved the point that pips really aren't laggy. Unlike Paku, which... Paku and, what is it, Gassy Moos? Those two things are just the worst. like, it's so sad, but this poor cow is the laggiest thing you will ever experience. Them and Paku. But yeah, something is definitely up with the BuddyBud. Wondering if it's the automation to the left and right causing problems. It is. Shinebugs overpower. Yes, Shinebugs. Well, building a Shinebug reactor became an actual nuclear reactor because they made Shinebugs radioactive now. So, yeah, that's a thing. So that's keeping all of those lights on. Probably just remove this light. Try putting it here. Let's see. I'm gonna see what's up with the BuddyBud because it's not wanting to plant. I don't know why. We have 2 seeds here, so I am confused. What is your construction? Only 5. Construction 0. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Something is definitely up with the BuddyBud. I guess I could just shove it in the rec room. I wonder what they broke. It seems really oddly specific, and it doesn't make any sense. Let me grab some granite. Put it in the middle. Yeah, I know. This is super weird. Should be able to be planted in an arrow pot, no problem. Maybe if I can get this one to plant here, I can try to force it here. Something that's really odd. It's not in the patch notes that they touch the BuddyBuds, so I am confused and concerned. Also, Dupe, who is bringing me the granite? Eps, please don't stand on the potted plant. Oh, Zorbrick is good. What? Did they just break the BuddyBud? Game? Why? What did you do? Not again. They're in the rocket. I brought back 2 of them. Could be that the game's not calculating that they're actually here, even though they're actually in the rocket. Yep, it's because they're in the rocket, but the game isn't wanting to calculate it. That's the problem. They're right here, which is right there. So that's why it's bugging out. Normally, that's not an issue, because the game does calculate that they're there, but I guess with the patch, it's not physically counted in the actual stuff. See, there's 2 there, so the game does know that they're there because they're in the rocket, but because they're not on world, it's not calculated. High priority that. Take our seed container. Clear all of that. Hit sweep only. Max priority. Where's the buddy button like this? Here. Now this should force the issue. Who's coming to get it? Zorbrick, coming in for the save. That's super weird, though. I'll have to probably report that on the forums, because that's definitely a new bug from the Fast Friends update. 100%. I'll bet you if I saved the game right now, reloaded, it would count them on the planet. Because normally that's literally what happens. Cly. God damn it. I'm so used to this, that's like, it's not even a shock, it's just, god damn it. Not again. Yes, I would have been like, wait, what? So you're telling me I need to get a pip to come over here and plant a BuddyBud right here. This is why I kept 1 tile, just in case I needed it. Just in case something breaks like this, I could always force the pips to replant. Like, as you can see, there's nothing up here, so I just remove these and then plant right there. Boom, done. That is hilarious, though. There it goes. Like, wait a minute. Why? What did you break? Oh, now you're telling me you have 0? Huh. So I've got 2 seeds. There it goes. I had to wait until it got to storage. There we go. Yes. Okay, kick that down to 3. And storage bin, could keep back down to 3. There we go. Yay, fluorescent. And yes, BuddyBuds are just flat out amazing. Mostly because they're a positive effect on all the duplicates nearby, and Fluorescent is programmed in the same way as zombie spores, meaning that it is highly aggressive and it will wipe out zombie spores, slime lung, and even radioactive contaminants and food poisoning in the surrounding environment. Which is hilarious because it's like, wait, what? I still think it's hilarious that you can actually delete radioactive contaminants using Fluorescent. I don't know why that's a thing. It's just how it's programmed. But hey, we now have 2 BuddyBuds, and that means all of my dupes are now exposed to stress relief. Smelled flowers. Good. Exactly. It's also really funny if you're using BuddyBuds to deal with like slime lung. I mean, obviously you can use radiation now, at least in the DLC. But if you're in base game and you don't, obviously there's no uranium or anything like that. But the BuddyBud itself can be used to completely lock off areas where slime is. Because what'll happen is that the actual floral scent will just overtake everything. It will just consume its way through everything. I think you're going, what is it, like 27 tiles or something like that? Something absolutely absurd. Bam. It just wipes out everything else. And it's extremely positive, which is great. Obviously, I would never put a zombie spore plant next to one of these things, though. Mostly because, well, even though this can kill everything zombie spores, your dupes will still sometimes come into contact with it, so you're just better off not dealing with it. In theory, you could do something... let me... I'll set over to be Talon because I've still got them here. You could take the spore kid seeds, and you can put them in a glass box. And that is a completely viable strategy. I just wouldn't recommend it because I just don't like dealing with them in general. Where is it? You build it like that. That can still reach into there, I believe, if I remember right. Otherwise, you need to move it down one. I think you might need to move it down one like that. And then you can take a spore kid child and shove it into one of these, into a little 2x1 cube. Because the spore kid, I believe, still technically gives off a pretty beefy amount of decor. But I really wouldn't recommend touching these things. Because, well, they're extremely dangerous. I forget how much decor this thing gives off. It's something really absurd. But obviously it's also extremely, extremely dangerous. So your better option is to just shove them in a box, and then put the box in a box, and then don't allow anything in. Or, if possible, feed them to Paco. But that's up to you. I normally just set them in a safety box as far away from everything as humanly possible, and also make sure pips can never, ever, ever even see the light of day of these things, and then you're fine. Because that flower is extremely deadly. And it can and will kill your base. It's so slow. I'm really wondering why some of my dupes are not taking, like, Spoonwood. What are you up to? Spoonwood, you should be the one going down there right now. I definitely need to replace some suits here. Oh, that's why. I was wondering, I was like, wait, why are they not filling? Oh, it's 9. I need to definitely up that. Okay. That's that done. Put that in. We'll take gold amalgam. Place all that mesh. I noticed. I was like, wait a minute. Why is this so low? The heck? I didn't adjust it. Clear those. No. Put a door here. I don't have to worry about it. No. Also, all the build in the basement. Yeah, I've been keeping it low over here, but the thing is that I do have 5 dupes that are set up to actually build on high priority, and they haven't had any other building orders. So this is, like, the reason that Bear keeps coming down here is that he's properly set. And I'm pretty sure I set the others as well. Check building. There's Bear. Dev should be coming down. Proto should be coming down. Spoon should be coming down, and Frey should be coming down here. All of the people that I just listed are also door open. Yeah. Don't know why the rest of them aren't. Also, new printables. Hey, gold amalgam. I forgot. Because we hit the other planet, I can now print gold amalgam. Yay! Gourmet, I will not take you. You're not really worth it. Especially if you're not a cook. Green thumb, cooking research, unpracticed artist. Not bad. I think we'll just take the gold amalgam. I could up the priority down here, but I still don't think they're going to come down here. Let's just up it to 8. It'll get Spoon down there. I mean, Bear's is going to keep building it by himself anyway. Again, they have the same priority sets. So I'm kind of confused why only he's the one coming down. It's probably... Nope. Get in our water leakage. Ah. Crap. Temperature. Yep. Hey, cool salt slush geysers are way too powerful. They really are. So how is the temperature now? 114, 127. Stable. Definitely stable. Temperatures negative 23. Okay, it's going good. Okay, temperature's still dropping. We're good. That was the thing I was worried about. No. They have literally the same kind of setups. I think the only thing I had was... Spoon has some tidying, but I haven't ordered any tidying. And they have operating. I'm pretty sure Bear also has operating. Let me check where Spoon actually... I got like 6 mechatronics, I believe. Here's 6 or 4 here. I know I got 1 mechatronics person per planet. Then, oh, you're in the bathroom. The worst possible time I could check in on you. Let's just see where Spoon goes. Got store. Production supply, here we go. Ranching, farm supply. Oh, they're passing through, so they're hugging the pip. Good. Next time. Store, ranching supply, flip, farming supply. Store lumbered. Huh. They're just not getting a construction order. Oh, now they are. What? I'm so confused. The construction supply orders are fluctuating consistently. Huh. Is it because I was using them for rocketry? That the game's now trying to figure out where they need to be, but it still can't truly figure it out, unlike Bear, who's been here the entire time? Oh, there it goes again. Generate power. Spill upper. Need to grab some food. Good. I do enjoy just watching the dupes once you've gotten your base pretty much super sustainable, or at least as close to it as possible. Oh no. Spoon, you're going all the way up to the rocket, aren't you? God damn it. That would explain it. They're still pathfinding to their original Great Hall. Funny thing is Spoon's so fast, it doesn't matter. Because again, we're on normal speed, by the way. And this is how fast my dupes go. That's even an insulated tile. It's funny. She has the one table. God damn it. Of course. Everyone else gets fixed except Spoon, who has been the problem child dupe the entire time. I'm sorry, Spoon, but your dupe has been an absolute nightmare to work with. Everybody else solved themselves out. I didn't have to do anything. Spoon, on the other hand, requires constant micromanagement. Nope. There they go. Now, are you going to go and do it? Okay, you're coming over here to grab that. Okay, good. She's so fast, it's like frame rate lagging. Oh god, that's so funny. Okay, now she's going to actually do something. Okay, they're coming. Dirt. Okay. She is running the metal refinery. Good. So I do need to change that. And keep that up. Okay, where are you going now? Fabricating for the rock crusher. Definitely interesting. I think what's going on is because even though she's got the actual build orders, she has the same layout as Bear. Bear being on this planet the entire time instead of doing rocketry, I think has kept him functioning, whereas anyone that comes back until I save and load the game is going to have some really weird priority orders, even with them set in the same way. As you noticed, they were kind of fluctuating between stuff, and you could see their pathfinding change when they were like halfway to it there. I'm like, okay, Bear doesn't have that problem, but Spoon definitely does. But then again, Spoon's also been on a rocket, trapped in practically hell over here in Drapola for, what, 30 cycles? I did bring her over here. I brought her, Protopoly, and Fracor over here, and all of them have not been having a good time. They're back at base and enjoying themselves, but, yeah. So I should definitely move Spoon. Then, there you go. Make sure no one else has any other seating arrangements. Okay, good. Nope, don't worry. Oh no. Yep. It's like, wait a minute. Pipe out now. Crap. It's too cold. I know. Sorry, dupes. This is why I have an emergency shut off. How the pips doing? I think it's fine. I really need to start venting most of this. Okay, good. We are actually draining the hydrogen from the... Good. When does my cooling kick back in? 6.7 cycles. All these will be kicking back on. All of this steam will go poop. And I don't really need to worry about it too much after that. At least all that's working. Chill-wise. Yeah, it's a wee bit powerful. Bear is still literally doing all this by himself. You know what, Bear? If I have the opportunity to put a pixel pack down here, I'm just going to write your name on it. And then just be like, yep, he built the nuclear reactor himself. I had one duplicate that actually wished to come down here and do everything. I approve. Fine by me. He's literally building the entire nuclear reactor himself. Like, no one else is going to do it, so I'll do it. Get out of the way. That's hilarious. I approve, bud. I approve. Also, clean that up, dupes. Yep, that sign has gone up in mass. Again, I looked away, and we've gained more nuclear waste from nothing. I wonder if it's actually self-duplicating. Call it bare metal reactor. You know what? I might just do that. I mean, he's literally building it himself, because the other duplicates just don't really want to come down here. Oh, Dev did. I think Dev just delivered some resources, because Dev can't actually build any of this stuff now. All this is the mechatronics, except for the piping. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Bear's done, like, I'll put it up at like 99% of this so far. At least he's getting most of it done. I approve. I really approve. Bear's always come through for me in this playthrough so far. It's like, holy crap, man. You and Gene, you are the two that do literally everything in this maze. I said, what is your athletic skill now? Okay, yeah, you're capped. Bucket's been pretty good, but he's mostly just, like, he's done all the research. Bucket and Zhao and Robo. Those were the three doing all the research. Yeah, Bucket's been pretty good, because Bucket, like, whenever I've needed Bucket the most to have their, like, actual procs going off, like, they've been pretty accurate about just getting stuff going. Mostly because Bucket just speeds around like a crazy person. Like, as you can see, 28 science, 22 athletics. Bucket, I think, hit max 20 in athletics. What was it, like Cycle 300 or something? So they were my first cap speed dupe. Which is why you just see them just like... They didn't even get affected. They're gone. They're already gone. There's Zhao going that way. Yeah, exactly. Bucket was stupid fast. Like, that's the thing, is Bucket is extremely speedy. And has absurd research already. And they have 1,120% science. That means when anything that they do that's science related, such as discovering geysers or researching mutated plants, is 1,128% faster. Oh, sorry, 20% faster. Like, it's absurd. Like, getting a really good researcher really quick, it's dumb. They're so fast. Because again, their research science perk, like their actual science stat here, affects their skill gain across everything. So yeah, like, Bucket is just stupid fast. Protopoly, I think, is actually getting him up there too, if I can find him. Proto, where are you? I've been running Proto pretty much through a bunch of research as well. 24 athletics. Science is already up to 10. I started at literally 0. So they're already up to 400% research. Just from checking on, where was it? I think it was Butalin a little bit. Rudabo. I had him do that one. And I think he rummaged. Yeah, he did do the rummage order. Tripola, I'll have him do the hydrogen vent. And also the Cobalt Volcano and Gold Volcano. There is a Copper Volcano somewhere on this planet. Oh, also the Natural Gasket. It should put him around, I think, 12 or 13? If I start doing mutated plants, a lot of my dupes are just going to get really, really high research stats. Where is it? Yeah, the Botanical Analyzer. Once you start doing mutated plants and just really pushing for, like, science gains, this is renewable science. So if you want your duplicates to get really high science stats, that way they can gain all their other skills really fast, then especially now that ranching is fixed, the radioactive plants is like the fastest way to train researching. Just period. If you want to really speed that along, that's pretty much where all of your research net comes from. I think once we get the nuclear reactor online and I actually clean out all the steam, I'm probably going to set up a pipe mutator like right around here. My bear isn't a glow stick, so he can't just stand in the reactor while it's going to admire his work. I know, only Kyo gets that ability. Or actually, where are they? Oh, right there. Yeah, only Kyo will be able to actually stand in the reactor room and not care. At least Bear will know that we have one duplicate that can literally sit in a nuclear reactor that he built and just admire all of his craftsmanship. It's so goddamn funny. It really is. Maybe if we end up getting another glow stick dupe, like a good one. Like, we did have Steve today, that did look pretty good, but he had slow learner, and I'm like, I can't fix slow learner. The only perk there's anemic, slow learner, technically flatulence, even though they did just add a food that definitely needs a buff to actually make it work. I know, he's sitting outside the freaking lead door as Kyo just walks out glowing green like, this is amazing! And he's just like, I can't even shake your hand because you're way too radioactive. Poor bear. Like I need to actually add more sage hatchling eggs. We're kind of doing a pretty good rotation here. As you notice, we have no extra sage hatchlings here. We're normally like down like 1 or 2 sage hatchlings per rotation. But yeah, it is funny just knowing that Bear's the one doing all of the work, and the only person that will ever be able to truly admire it up close and personal is Kyo. NG. I think, yeah, that's definitely NG. NG99K. Thanks for the follow, man. Oh, there he goes again. Literally. I'll bet you the second I save and load for tomorrow, like when we actually, you know, pop back in action not included for tomorrow, all of my constructor dupes are going to be down here. And then Bears is going to be pissed. Poor Bear. Yeah, I'm once I clean this place out and I actually get it all vacuumed, I'm definitely putting some pixel packs in here with any passes out here too. There you go, bud. Nah. I just know that it's probably a safe load bug, so the second that the game is reloaded, all of them are gonna end up pathfinding back down there again. Barrett, you have 1% stamina. Get butt up here. Perfectly fine. Oh, wait. Hey, Frey's actually coming to help. I think. Yep, Frey's actually delivering some iron. Thank you, Frey. This can't be loud. One man shout. As much as I appreciate it, I would prefer all of my dupes helping with this rather than just one person because it's a nuclear reactor. This is not a one-person objective. Oh, here comes Spoon finally. Good. I'm still gonna put Bear's name on it. He did everything. I approve. And as I said, I'll just put like Bears in it, like just Bear right here. Bear's reactor. Only downside, that does mean I need to get... Where is it? I need to get the strips. Because the automation ribbon's the only way to set the pixel packs properly. So I will have to research that for on Bear's behalf. So I'll definitely check that up for when we actually get the nuclear reactor up and running, and also the whole place vacuumed out. But that will definitely be for next time. Right now, I need to stabilize everything and check on the rocket. Down to 6.3 to 7.9. Okay, good. That'll probably take another 20 cycles before that rocket's cleaned out, so we'll definitely get back to launching. Yeah, definitely launching tomorrow. I should probably upgrade that, but it's doing its job. I need to add more stuff, then we should be good. Let me check. How much plastic do we have? We have a lot of these. 2, 3, 4. 5. 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Okay. We got 2,200 plastic. I'm okay with that. I do need to send more steel over so that way we can start preparing everything. I'm just happy that I'm actually stabilizing it remotely. Like, just blast crap at the planet until you get to go. As duly noted. Targeting beacons are your friend in the DLC. Never leave home without being able to build one. Yeah. Targeting beacons are the best. How are you guys doing? Back up to 13. Good. Should be able to set all that to enable auto harvest. Don't really have to worry about it too much. Temperatures 57 to 60. Yeah, that's right in range. I really need supercoolant. I gotta find that water world. I need it. Ooh, that was a lot of... I hope that wasn't bugged out. Didn't look good. I just see a wall of steam. Like, wait, what? Set that back. We're up to 3,425 kilograms of steel. How many more cycles till our cooling kicks in? 5.3, yeah. Tomorrow we'll definitely continue reducing the actual temperatures. And then we should probably be able to maybe start vacuuming this out. Hey, Sand's actually coming to deliver. Thanks, bud. Oh, it's not supercoolant research. It's the, I need to reach the water world because I need graphite. Which is technically non-renewable. Or I need to find a space POI so that way I can make because... Da-da-da-da. Solid. Where are you, graphite? Fullerene. There it is. This is the thing that I need. That makes fullerene. Fullerene. Super coolant. Downside, need renewable gold. We can easily do the petroleum because I've already got all the infrastructure built. I have to tap the gold volcano over here on Drapola. So, super coolant purposes, this is of the utmost importance. Reaching the water planet and actually building a hanging facility on it is the other importance. And then we can actually make super coolant. Or, if I can find, I think it's the glass asteroid belt. Kind of looks like this icy one over here, but there's like white shards. That one can have graphite on it. So, hopefully we find any of the above. And then also tap into this tomorrow. I'm just happy that I'm actually able to send a crapload of resources, because we're going to need a lot of power. Because I'm going to build a cooling loop for pretty much all the volcano's materials. The only issue is I'm pretty sure we don't have enough obsidian on this planet to do what I need to do. I may need to start importing it. Good news is that my home planet, I think we actually have the core open, 147,701 kilograms. And 1.2 million in igneous rock down here. There's still actually more that I haven't actually excavated yet. Also, eventually all these ladders will no longer need to be here, and I will be able to just slap them out for plastic. But obviously, that requires condensing all of this steam back into water. There's a lot of it. But cycle 945. Let's wait until the day rolls over, and I think we'll call it there. Dirt production is also finally starting to be positive, which is a good sign. Food is still positive, so that's safe. Oxygen is perfectly fine. Water is completely positive, actually overkill. And I'm okay with that. Eventually I will need to rejig all of the gas pipes and all of the water pipes, but that'll be when we're finally off of steam rockets, which means nuclear rocket. And also the nuclear power plant will be fully operational. The only other issue I have is that I definitely need to make aluminum, which I don't have much of. I don't think we have copper. Yep, just copper right now. Copper and cobalt. Need to find an aluminum asteroid. Oh, aluminum asteroid field, I should say. I definitely should think about reducing the inputs. Temperature we're negative 22. It's still going down. I think we're okay. Still concerned about it though. I need to reduce the amount of cooling I'm giving this. I'll turn that also back on for now. Dormant for 0.2, that'll reduce cooling. That's dormant for 50 cycles. And I'll keep that off for now. I'll just keep that basin of cooling for now. It's really cold, so I think we're good. But that's a lot of just overall optimizations and sending resources for today. I'm content with that. 946. Didn't have any emergencies, and we sadly only watched Bear pretty much self-build a nuclear reactor on his own. Good job, Duplicant. I will definitely put your name on it.